in styles, but there's also similarities. So, Brendan, do you see anything that stands out for you as a point of difference?
You know, you're quite right there, Paul. Adam, definitely a character on the green, very loud and vocal. I think we saw quite a reserved Craig in that last match. Craig can definitely be the aggressor. He can play those big shots. But as he highlighted in his post-match interview with Dennis, their plan was to just be consistent and put bowls in the right areas. Adam, on the other hand, we heard him a couple of times in the background during the semi-final. He plays those big bowls. He likes to convert heads. And you talk about Jessie winning the Women's Premier Singles a couple of years ago. That same year, Adam was runner-up in the men's event, which is hosted by the North Harbour Bowling Centre. So a pretty tidy player himself. Obviously represents the Auckland Bowling Club and is a current member of the Auckland Representative Premier Squad. Both of these players actually live in Thames Coast. They play out of the Taurua Club, but travel up to Auckland to compete against the, I wouldn't say more competitive, but certainly the larger competitive pool. As we see a couple of pretty good openers from the ladies to start off this final.
You know, if they're going to keep doing that for 13 and a half ends, it's going to be very interesting. There might be a few drives getting played. But certainly both of them would be happy with their first offerings, especially given the fact that it's pretty breezy at Howick and it is exposed, and the wind, the forecast suggested the wind was going to pick up a little this afternoon. So if it does happen when we're looking at the green from sideways on, it'll be coming from top right to bottom left. And there were times in the semi where the wind sort of put the players off their stroke a bit. Other times they had it fairly well under control, but a blast halfway down the rink would leave them looking a bit silly, and the bowl perhaps a little short, or it's running on a bit. This is not a bad nut from Adam either to start. You'll also see a lot of blue bowls with pink stripes on them because two of them have got those same bowls. So Adam's ones have the purple rings on them, and Trish's have the yellow rings, and it's the one with the yellow rings that's closer to the jack at the moment.
Yeah, it's certainly a bit of a trend at the moment amongst the Henslight players. Henslight have, at the risk of throwing a bit of shade, have kind of caught up in the sense of adding some colour into their lineup. So all the Henslight players now are going through this phase where they're buying the latest and greatest colours on the Henslight range. So Adam's been a long
surely
time.
They've got more than two colours.
No, they've got plenty more, but it ultimately comes into player preference. So Adam's had a set of purple and white bowls that were similar two-tone effect for a very long time, and he's just recently retired those in light of the new tricolour Henslight bowl. As we mentioned in the semi-final, Trish has gone from a GTR to Henslight just quite recently, so a little bit of a change.
Yeah, well, those Goldie speckly bowls, Jess has been using those for a while, and the new colour scheme makes me think of one of the games that was going on when I was playing. It looked like there'd been an explosion in the Skittles bag because they were all pastel shades and all one colour.
Yeah.
So we're not getting that here.
No, and it really speaks to how far bowls has come, I think. You know, I took up the game 15, 16 years ago as a young lad, and they were just getting out of the brown and red and green phase where it wasn't always black, but it certainly was very monotoned. And I remember...
What's Craig going to do here?
Yeah, it's a great bowl from Craig. Might have just pushed it to Adam Haywood's bowl, though. Yeah, I brought myself a set of... it was a black bowl with a red and white speckle through it, which was revolutionary at the time.
Okay.
But quite tame by modern standards, and it's certainly a very colourful game now.
Here comes Adam, and you'll notice he's got the 10 to 2 feet. You'll see those coming down the green fairly often. And he's got... takes a fairly decent size in shoe as well, so I'm glad the greens at Howick are in such great nick. If you're just measuring his feet, he's a bit like Richard Hadley, really. He's got the same fall pattern and the same size feet.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get round to the back there, but Craig's drawn an absolute stunner here. Look at this.
Oh, isn't that a good bowl?
Oh, he's so unlucky. He's still going to be one. Oh no, he might have the shot there.
It's
bit of angle, but hard to tell.
They're just, there's going to be a lot of looksies going on there.
There's going to be a lot of confusion from our booth trying to work out whether it's got a pink or yellow sticker
Those
as well.
are paddles, aren't they? You can just about put Rolex on them and row them across the harbour, those shoes of Adams. They're big.
You'll see a little bit more life around the green from our previous match. We've been joined up on the A green here at Howick by Divisions 2, 3 and 4 finals. And a little bit later on in the broadcast, we will bring you updates of who is playing and what the scores are as well. Of course, our main focus here will be our championship final. We see Jessie play the first of the skips bowls.
Tell you what, if this is the standard of what we're going to get, it's going to be worth watching. Because given the breezy conditions, it took a little while before we started seeing ends like this in the semi. And you can see from the trees behind that the air is still moving around fairly vigorously. You see on the back of the shirts, Auckland Bowling Club established 1861. That's got the proud claim to being the oldest bowling club outside the British Isles, I believe. And
that is correct.
Certainly down at the Auckland Bowling Club, there's a set of old rosewoods that were presented by Southampton Bowling Green over 100 years ago now, and they're probably a couple of 100 years old then, so they're ancient bowls. And boy, oh boy, you have to throw those out about 3 rinks if you want them to come back. They're different to what you use now, and they're in the standard black, of course.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see the differences in style already very early on. Adam calling.
What's going to happen here? He'll get something.
Well, let's push Trish's bowl through the head, and I think it's still 1 to Adam's bowl on the left of screen. But yeah, to your point, Paul, New Zealand very unique in the fact that they adopted bowls quite early, because there are 3 or 4 clubs around Auckland that established in the 1800s, or the later end of the 1800s.
Yep.
New Plymouth Bowling Club actually was the 2nd club in the country, I believe.
Yes.
A couple of years later, and Auckland and New Plymouth have a long-standing challenge trophy. But JBWere Bowling Club was also in the 1895. 5, something like that. Yeah, very, very late 1800s.
Mount Albert, 1897.
Yeah. So a few clubs established in Auckland, and it did make its way around the country eventually, but a long, proud history at the Auckland Bowling Club for sure.
Well, I would think that Auckland Bowling Club would have to be pretty close to the oldest sports club in New Zealand in any code that still continues, because there's no rugby clubs anywhere near it. And I don't think there's a cricket club that challenges it. I can't think of anything else. Grafton Cricket Club would be the oldest one in Auckland, but that's not a challenger for the title, because they're only just over 150 years old. So it's a long-established club. They've gone through a few pavilions over the years, and there have been some fairly distinguished players come out of there, and some fairly distinguished people who have been involved in the running of the club. And the Auckland pair are on the board first.
Yeah, first blood will be really important for them, I think. Especially, they will have had some practice on this TV rink during the break, just to get a feel for the rink. Every rink can be a little bit different. And obviously Craig and Trish have played their semi-final on the same rink, which might be seen as a slight advantage, but certainly with the changing conditions, I don't think it's going to give them too much benefit, really.
Well, one of the things in the semi-final was there was no consistent line that anybody settled into that just became their money ball. So there's nothing like that where playing on it allowed you to pick a line that you can now follow the same track down. It wasn't like that. And Adam's got a couple of useful offerings, but he'll be looking for better than that. And the way Trish Croot finished that the semi-final, especially the last end coming this way when she put 2 absolute bombs in there.
Yeah, exceptional.
And now you've got Craig doing what he was doing for the last hour or so of that game, putting bowls on the jack and just behind. He got his range really good.
Especially coming this way towards the, well, I guess you'd call it the south end of the club. He really found a good little rhythm coming down this way. Really challenged Takarua in the semi-final with his consistency.
Yeah, he just, his weight was the thing. Of all 4 players in that semi, he was the one who was most consistently nailing his weight. And it told in the end. He got a lot of telling bowls on the head. And this is something we saw on the clubhouse side quite a bit, the bowls just dying in the home straight. So there's probably 2 different speeds in action here. That's a long way short for a player as good as Jessie Macaw.
Yeah, definitely, and it gets very hard when you're playing a two-paced green. You'll see that wide drawing side that Trish and Craig have favoured, and they talked about in their post-match being a real key to that consistency, getting it right. It could be as much as 3 or 4 seconds worth of difference on that tighter side, because the wind will hold it up.
See, another good bowl on the wider hand, and got it to the jack without trouble, but also had the control.
She's definitely made a correction here, has Jessie.
Yeah, pretty good one too.
This is in a really good area. What an exceptional correction. To be just a little bit quick with her second delivery, but she's going to find her teammate there in the background.
4 pretty decent bowls from the Croot to Faria combination to open this end.
We're getting some really fancy camera work now from our roving camera operator. Beautiful Bahuta Kawas in the foreground, overlooking the green up from the artificial surface. At Howick Bowling Club, as Jessie's on the search here.
Move it out. Scared the barnacles.
That's a really good speed for that type of shot. We talked about that 50-50 shot. That's just that little bit pulled back, just over the draw, still nice and controlled.
You saw how much Craig's towel was flapping when he was using it to highlight the line. He had a good handful of it, but the ends were out there flapping around in the breeze.
Again, just a little quick here from Trish, but using the head to her advantage. If she can get that jack clean through, there's a nice gap there now to Adam Haywood's 2 bowls with the purple stickers on them.
If it hits the catches from Croot and Faria, they could, and bounces back up the green, it could be an ugly little scene. Again, there's an awful lot of bowls around this head, aren't there?
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good result too. I really love how Jessie's taking on that more challenging hand. She's making sure she's giving her bowl a chance.
Yep.
A lot of players would deliberately play narrow there to try and hold the bowl up, but by getting it out there and letting the bowl do the work, I think it's something that a lot of players tend to overlook.
Well, when you look at where the first one is, and then when you look at bowls 2, 3, 4, she made the adjustment pretty quickly.
Yeah, her green's been really consistent on that challenging hand.
We had 2 exactly on the centre line, so couldn't complain about much there. Adam going down the same side, so It's almost a game of two halves at the moment. Well, you don't want to slice this like that. He may be lucky and still have retained the shot, not sure. So him coming down to give it a wee nose. I think I saw the signal from Jessie that they are one down. Give it a chance.
Yeah, you see Adam plays that little bit more weight and suddenly the consistency of the shot, just the percentage drops down, right? I missed what Trish said, but there must have been some kind of innuendo because I heard the background noise. There's a few chuckles from the stands.
Yeah. Good old Coward's bowl, I suspect.
Yeah, there was opportunity to draw onto his own, I suppose, but yeah, if they were really keen to score, I think it would be on the forehand on that narrower side, trying to just draw the jack perfectly.
Yeah, well, they're both underway now, so one each after two. Everybody's played some good bowls.
Yeah, both teams have got off to a pretty good start. I don't think anybody'd be unhappy with the opening 16 bowls.
They made a pretty good fist of coming this way first end, so it'll be interesting to see how they go second time of asking.
So Trish leading off from the south side.
Yeah, well, that one obviously got stuck in treacle halfway down. So you suspect a gust of wind came and knocked that one down.
Am I right in thinking that Trish and Craig have swapped order? Was Trish not leading from the other side last game?
Oh,
I'd have to go back and watch the footage, but
who bowled the last end for Aiden? Who delivered the final bowls? Can't remember.
No, my memory's gone as well.
Well, I've got the excuse I'm getting old. What's yours?
Oh, I don't know. I can't give you that one, to be honest. But it is an interesting dynamic when players choose to change ends, because if you get that rhythm broken, or you get so used to playing 4 bowls in a row in a certain direction.
Yeah, because of course that never changes in the duration of the game, does it?
I can't remember which way Trish was playing, but for some reason my brain's telling me that Craig was playing 4 bowls the other way last time.
Yeah, you may well be right.
Yeah. Well,
in mixed 2-4-2, it's often that the women square off against each other and the men square off against each other. It seems to be almost an unwritten rule, but
wow, it's an interesting tactic, right? And ultimately, it's controlled by the coin toss, because whoever takes the mat has the choice of playing, you know, first or second.
Yeah.
And then the opposition will just follow suit, really. But yeah, as you say, it does tend to be kind of the norm that the players, or usually the men, will migrate up the other end.
Yeah.
And they'll skip the even ends, and the women will skip the odd ends. And that's a better bowl from Faria after a less consistent leading effort from the ladies after 2 really good opening ends.
Yes, there is room for the guys to play a couple of shots and
Yeah.
pressure the jack.
And you'll see Adam's got quite a unique delivery, quite a unique approach. He doesn't really have much of a swing at all. Very similar to the modern day voice of bowls, Alex Reid, in that he kind of just flicks it off the wrist.
Yeah, you've played against Craig often enough. What's the shake, 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 and the click? Don't like it? Do like it?
The shake's just a bit of a generic kind of thing from Craig. It's a bit like what most players would do with a toe tap. It doesn't really mean anything.
Oh, righto.
Yeah.
He pulls it out every now and then. Okay, so Adam swapped his hand. He's going back to where they had some success on the first end, and this one's had the tyres let down halfway down the green.
No, the two main quirks to watch for Craig are usually the toe tapping and moving around on the mat. Suggests he's going to be playing a little bit heavy, either a little bit heavy or a lot heavy. And then generally the post release is the head twist or the face turn.
Fair enough. It's getting closer. None of the 3 are far away, but he'd probably like one even tighter than that. Because he is a guy, if he gets into his rhythm, he'll pose endless problems.
And if this can get a little rub off one of Craig's bowls like that,
may well be
we'll
the
take
shot.
the shot. Oh, there we go. I've just heard in my ear that apparently Christchurch Bowling Club is the second oldest bowling club in 1875.
Fair enough.
That's if we believe the comments from if it's Roger Webb that has commented, he knows his stuff. So I will trust his expertise on that one.
Well, yeah, because when bowls became a national thing in New Zealand, the engine of it all was down south, wasn't it?
Yes.
Canterbury and Otago. There was very little in the North Island. I think for a long time there was just Auckland.
Yeah, just Auckland. I know New Plymouth was definitely in the 1800s.
They were the second club in the North Island.
Oh, perhaps second club in the North Island.
The national bowls or bowls became under a national umbrella. New Plymouth and Auckland were the only 2 North Island clubs that were involved. So the engine of it all was definitely down south.
Yeah.
And, like Canterbury was
Canterbury
quickly
and
off the mark on just about everything, weren't they? Because the cricket was big down there quickly. The Christchurch Football Club was underway quite early, but didn't become a rugby club until after a few had started around the country. But it's still, I think 1863 off the top of my head was when Christchurch Football Club started. And the Cantabs are big on their sport, and they've always maintained good facilities. You play down that way, you're always playing on good pitches, good greens, good whatever you happen to play on.
Yeah, well, a couple of days from now, great bowl there from, well, it's not a great bowl, but it's got a really good result, pushing her teammates' bowl into the shot. A couple of days from now, of course, all the bowlers are going to be heading down to Christchurch. The Somerset National Singles and Pairs, run by Bowls New Zealand, another World Bowls Series event as well, will take place down in Christchurch.
You'd be pretty miserable if you complained about the surfaces you got down there from experience.
Well, last time I went down, it was so hot the greens burnt, so it was a complaint, but it was more about the weather than the quality of the greens.
Well, you can't blame British Rail for that one.
No.
No, just turn the sun down a bit and turn the nor'wester off, that would be a good place to start. I'm sure there'd be a lot of Cantabrians would be happy to oblige if they could.
Yeah, they've been doing some really exciting stuff down in Canterbury at the Parklands Bowling Club as well, with some new grass types.
Okay.
Experimenting for, I believe it's supposed to be designed that we can play on play on natural grass year round. But other than the fact that I know it's happening, I don't know much more than that.
Yeah, no. My limited experience of playing on the greens of Christchurch is that they were very good. And the clubs were all very good, and there's a lot of enthusiasts for the game. And here we are. Is it going to waddle far enough?
Yeah, a little slide. It's not going to go. So it'll be, I think, just the one.
One to the Faria Croot combination.
All right.
And Dennis has got another guest down at Howick to have a chat to. So let's find out who he's going to speak to.
And yes, I'm with the Pin Pals, different sort of bowling, but you can spin around now, guys. Thank you very much. Rebecca Giles, Aidan Takarua, unfortunately losing semi-finalists today, but something in our sort of pre-interview chat. This is the first time that you guys have played together. So that's a pretty amazing outcome.
Yeah, absolutely, and stoked. I mean, yeah, friends for a long time, but never played together, so to get to semis was a huge effort.
Now, Aidan, you're doing very, very well both on the international circuit, domestically, etc. I know you're quite a modest guy chatting to you, but do you mind me asking your world bowls ranking at the moment, please?
I think on the website I'm 6th, but with the points from this, I might have jumped up to 4th. But no, it's really good to be a part of, and it's great that they're having a world ranking just in place.
Actually, Aidan, while I've got you, how important is it for somewhere like Auckland or New Zealand to have a World Bowl Series event on home soil?
Yeah, I think it's great for us, especially we've been in New Zealand. Our greens are so much different to the rest of the world, so it gives us a chance to really excel on our home turf and give our locals a chance to get on that leaderboard.
And Rebecca, look, I've got to say, and forgive me for saying this, as a 50-year-old or an older fella, you guys look quite young to me. And I was talking about it with Dean Bartlett, who's the CEO of Auckland Bowls. The face of bowls is not your older sort of demographic at all. There's a lot of young people. So what got you into bowls, and how long have you been playing for?
Yeah, so I've been playing 11 years, I think.
Okay, so we won't give your age away, but you would have been a teenager or a youngster?
Yeah, I was a teenager. Yeah, no, I had an after-school job, and one of the boys there invited us down. Me and I've got a twin brother who plays, and we were kind of not allowed to leave. Turned out we were quite good at it, and 10 years later, here we are.
Any advice for any other young players that want to come up? Because look, you've got $10,000 of prize pool money, world ranking points, chance to travel overseas. Bowls is really taking off, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you want to go well in it, just keep working at it. Like the first few years are a bit tricky, sort of breaking into that mould, but you can get there, and age is on your side. You've got years to play it, so just keep going.
And Aidan, Aidan and Rebecca, what's next on the cards for you guys?
So we're both heading down to Christchurch next day or two, and Nationals is up. So
together?
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's just the men's and women's are separate in the Nationals. So so there's the men's pairs and the men's singles, and the women's same as that. But looking forward to it and get down the nice Christchurch greens.
Hey, look, commiserations for today, but look, thank you so much. I love the cut. I've got to actually ask you about the shirts because we started with them. So what's the story behind the Simpsons bowling shirts?
It's cheap Boxing Day sales.
Okay, they are cool. Can I just say I love it, and I love that when I saw you guys out there. And look, best of luck for your individual endeavours coming up at the Nationals.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, guys. It's
All right.
lovely to meet you both too.
You too. Yes.
Well, while we were away at that interview, there was all sorts of weird and wonderful things going on out there, which you don't often see at this level. The first one was that Craig de Faria didn't get his jack up 23 metres, so Adam got to deliver. He took the mat up, and he did his best to chuck it away. It stopped about half an inch from falling into the ditch. That's that lack of slope coming into play. So they're playing off a mat that's right up and the jack on the 2 metre, and then Craig, who's been Mr. Consistency, threw his first bowl into the drink. So there was about 90 seconds of most unusual stuff, and now they're back to drawing to the jack again.
Yeah, well, Adam certainly made the most of the chaos. He's put 2 really good opening bowls here on the 4th end. And it's great to hear from Aidan, who, unofficial ranking pending at the moment, but, deep into the top 10 in the world rankings and just gone from stride to stride, really. great representative of bowls in New Zealand and Auckland, and obviously Rebecca as well, heading back home to have some home turf advantage in the Nationals. Definitely both players to watch out for over the next couple of weeks.
The last time they came this way, Jessie was playing really well on the other hand, playing down the clubhouse side. Has abandoned it at the moment, but with Adam sitting where he's sitting, it's probably not not something that should be panicking about. How's this one going to go? Is it a bit skinny on it?
Another good weight, well played. One down. Come on, mate. Up there. Weight's good.
Seeing very early the contrast of skipping style.
Yeah.
Adam already a lot more vocal, a lot more, I wouldn't say more supportive, but definitely making comment a lot more on the head and the play.
He probably has a future in commentary when he's finished playing then.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of bowlers think they'd be all right at commentary. Some of them you just don't know whether you trust them on the microphone or not. So
you draw the line, but there's an awful lot of them have the ability to talk for 2.5 hours without pausing for breath.
yes, yeah.
Stay there, you're pretty close. 2 down. A bowl.
Right, now there's some thinking going into it from Croot and Faria, because I think there might be as many as 3 down on this particular head, and it's proving to be an interesting challenge. There may be a bit of breeze out there which is affecting things, although this looks as if it has a bit of promise about it.
Yeah, it looks a little skinny, but it's got good speed to hold up.
That's going to be the saviour, isn't it?
Yeah, look at
the
that.
weight's really good.
Yeah, mate. That's me on the running up there. If you're tight, you set the bowl. Give it a chance. Yeah, like weight to there, mate.
Yeah, really good call there from Adam. Nice clear instruction. Just put a bowl in a good space and see what happens.
A bit high.
Did you get a result off
What
her
have
own
you got
here?
here? Not quite. But they do have a bowl now sitting there tucked in the back.
Yeah, and you've got Jessie's 3 to the right as well that are in good position.
And Adam in front of them.
Yeah.
Still with you last.
So Craig's got that window in his shirt again. No, he hasn't. If anybody wondered what that was about, he stepped in front of the camera at 2 or 3 critical moments in the semi.
Yeah. No, as much as we encourage the players to play their game, we do also want to watch for our enjoyment.
91.
And to be fair, you know, it's still a fairly new concept, broadcasting. It's been a couple of years now, but it's very hard to change your habits. And bowls is a particularly difficult sport to broadcast at sometimes, because it's not like the players can just sort of move out of the way. The cameras have got to be quite close to the action. We don't have the luxury of rugby and cricket where the cameras can hide up in the tops of the grandstands.
What do we got here? What do we got here? What do we got here?
Wow.
Look at that. That's a result.
She's really executed a shot there. So probably holding 3 now.
Oh, that's a given, I think.
Yeah. And I don't think we'll see too much different from Adam. He's still got that backhand or the right side of the screen. Plenty of space to sit on that wall of Jessie's bowls. He's got his own in front still as well. And the benefit also is he's got the bowl on the screen here at 6 o'clock, which is covering any sort of weighted shot from Craig if he chooses to move into the ditch. It's young Hannah Dawson there in the background. She's one of our young up-and-coming talents in Auckland. Plays in the... Oh, actually, she just debuted in the Auckland Premier women's side, so she'll be lining up to more than likely play in the Auckland Inter team this year.
She was a difficult opponent yesterday. She played exceptionally well in the game against us.
Yeah, she's been playing bowls since she was 14 or 15, and she's really come into her stride in the last season or two.
Oh, lovely touch at the moment.
Yeah, and mature beyond her years when she steps onto a bowling green.
And she enjoys herself.
Yeah, and that's the most important part. She loves getting out there and playing good competitive.
She can be quite funny at times too. You just got to watch it a bit because she can be quite sharp and say things which are funny, but she chooses her moment well. She's a great kid. You know, only just finished school, so her future is whatever she wants it to be.
And she's done the very sensible thing of getting herself a job out of school and working for a bowler, so she gets plenty of time off and weekends to pursue her passion.
No, she's a very level-headed young woman. And I know there's an awful lot of people wish her well, and righto, Trish.
Yeah, it's Trish's
see
turn
a
to
whole
get in
lot
the
here.
way. Well, took one out. That's not a bad result. Certainly improves the head.
Yeah, you just wonder if that bowl of Adams now comes into the reckoning up there.
Oh, I think Trish has got one in the mix as well.
Not right in the mix. Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, yes she has, but with the displaced jack, I just wonder if it puts Adams' bowl in a slightly more favourable position.
Craig's going to come and have a look at this. I think that channel through the two bowls will be quite inviting. You can see the wind blowing there on the ringside flags. You always know it's windy at a bowling green, and when we're broadcasting, when there's 2 or 3 sandbags or the community bowls get brought out to weigh the flags and the cameras down.
There's always that.
And interestingly, if you look at the wind, if you go back to that shot, you see the wind socks pointing one direction and the flags pointing a different way. So it creates a different challenge. Whilst it may be windy, whilst the wind's coming up from the sea down in Cockle Bay, it's bouncing off the clubhouse and coming back across the green the opposite direction. So certainly adds a challenge, and we are going to see Craig play weight. And there you see his feet shuffling around, as I mentioned.
Yeah, well, the other thing is there's a little gap at the end of the clubhouse at Howick, and the wind can come down there in quite an unusual direction.
Oh, he's close.
Clean as a whistle. He's got he's got the bowl.
Well,
he
he's
didn't
got
want
another
to
one out of the
shift.
head. Does that? I think that now brings Adam's front bowl into potentially being second shot.
Definitely 2 now. I
Definitely
would suggest.
2 still.
And a fairly easy draw for a player of Adam's ability.
Well,
he's
there's
either
actually
beating the green one at the back or the
there's
side
actually
one.
a cunning opportunity for Adam to sit through Craig's bowl or Trish's bowl at the back of the head and
green
make
one
4 or
is Craig's.
5. I don't think it'll be something he'll go for this early in the game, but
He's a lateral thinker.
yeah, that bowl of Craig's, if you can turn it out 2 or 3 shots, they've got another couple of bowls there. I tell you
like
what,
this?
he's not too far away. He's definitely trying.
He had a look, didn't he?
He was definitely trying. Oh, it could be closer than we think.
You'd be surprised, wouldn't you? Perspective would have to be flat and right out if they're pulling the tape out.
Yeah. We're going to pull the measure out. Well, while Jessie gets down and measures this, I might just quickly run through who is playing in the other divisional finals, and then we'll bring some score updates a little bit later on once they've had a chance to get some points on the board. So in Division 2, we have Aggie Motu and her nephew David Motu of the New Lynn Bowling Club playing Janine Brown and Billy Filton representing Riverhead. In Division 3's final, we have Martin Dixon and Claire Tabaru of the Royal Oak Bowling Club playing Gary and Rosanna Meridawai, who have made their way up from the Martinborough Bowling Club. And in Division 4, we have Wendy Sargent and Keith Stewart from Mangawai playing Matt Berry and Leah Morgan, who are representing, I believe, Pringle Park. And I say I believe because Matt is referred to as the Bowls Gypsy. He belongs to several clubs around Auckland and North Harbour, and it's hard to keep track of which one he belongs to. As we see a couple of highlights from the last end, that exceptional drive shot from Jessie. And then Craig obviously chipping away at the count. So underway now for the fifth end. And a little bit shorter as well. The mat's up. The jack hasn't made it all the way to the tee. And a pretty well pointed first bowl. Certainly made a correction on a line here.
Yeah, this will be good if it just holds. I'm surprised actually, because at the start of the game they Jessie went over the clubhouse side and they actually played pretty tight bowls up and down. And since then they've gone back to the wider hand and possibly not been quite as tight as, well, certainly not as tight as they would like.
Yeah, I think they were forced on that tighter hand, I think, to be fair.
But they made a success of it.
Yeah, they did have success. I think that most bowlers would look at this rink and look at the conditions today and are quite right in thinking that playing with the wind is definitely the easier way to go. But if you can find your line on that narrower side, you have an opportunity to be really deadly because no one else is doing it. Even if just one of them made the decision, I think, to swap over, and you had one player doing the opposite to the other three, you could give it a go for a couple of ends and probably not do yourself too much damage, but you could certainly reap the rewards if it paid off. This is a great ball coming in from Craig as well.
He's starting to do this a lot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Chuck him out there, bring him back to the centre line. Never going to be too far off the weight.
Looking really good again. Boys are really settling into their action now. Great bowl from Adam Haywood. Oh, and there we have the trophy. The brand new Auckland Open trophy.
I believe we were having a look in the records back before we came on air, and there's only 2 teams have put their names on it in successive years.
Yeah, 25 years the mixed pairs have been running in Auckland, which is probably, again, a sort of a longevity title in itself, because the mixed game hasn't been one that's adapted, you know, quickly in the bowls community. It definitely has really taken off in the last sort of maybe 5 to 10 years, but to run the mixed pairs back in 1999 was probably a revolutionary result for the bowls community, who have always been sort of single-gendered focused.
Yeah.
And I believe we do have some stats we can run through a little bit later on as well, to sort of go through. It's been a really interesting sort of competition, this, because mixed pairs comes and goes, and to have something like Auckland, who have really championed this event for a long time. This competition's been through various iterations, various formats, and we've really landed on something quite special here, I think, where we've now got World Bowls on board as well. They like the format. They like the fact that, you know, people can come along, compete for a couple of days. From a field of 114, we've had 64 of them made it to the first round of post section, and then we've cut down to 32 today. And now ultimately we've got our final 2 championship teams here, alongside the finalists in the respective flights as well. So opportunity aplenty to make it to finals day in this event. It really does encourage and promote consistency. And as our Australian visitors have found out, we aren't too scared to play in the rain here in New Zealand either.
No, well, going back to the early days, Wally Marsick, a well-known name in Auckland bowls, and Maria Broadbent won back-to-backs in 2003-04. And Scotty Harrison and Esther Yu won 2018 and 19, and they disappeared when round of 8 this one.
Yeah, they were. I think they lost to Adam and Jessie this morning. Oh.
No, I don't.
No, they lost to Aiden and
they
Rebecca.
lost to Aiden, yeah. So they.
Yeah, so they've had another really good run this year as well.
They're there and thereabouts all the time. It's a good combination. Esther's out of Blockhouse Bay and Scott's out of Balmoral, but they play together in this on a regular basis, and they tend to be successful as well. They're just a good fit.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of an attacking shot here from Craig now. Oh, something's caught his eye, or the wind's picked up.
The wind, I suspect. Is that what you're looking for? The feet going tip, 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 tap?
That's the one. Oh, he's missed
pretty
his,
good with these.
He's missed his line drastically on this occasion. He'll come up and have a look.
Well, he come up because he's bowled 4 bowls.
Oh, has he? I've missed the rhythm of play on that one.
Yeah, this is becoming quite interesting because there was quite a prolonged discussion before Adam's last bowl about what they were going to do, and I'm not convinced they were on the same page at the start, but they got there. I think now they've got their trains of thought running down parallel tracks.
And you see Jessie now drawing on the backhand as well. Again, kind of forced on there. Drawing
She's
on
done
the
a good
backhand.
job.
Yeah, look, she's really nailing that hand. I think there's a lot of merit in her a lot of merit in her switching over and sticking to that hand.
Well, Trish Croot can't really go too hard here because they got nothing behind the jack from what I can remember. There's, you got that green bowl of Craig's behind the jack, but there's nothing else there that doesn't have a purple sticker on it.
Oh, and that's an unfortunate result. She's just pushed Jessie's bowl in for 3.
But now they do have a back one. I'm sure they have a back one.
Yeah, I believe Trish's bowl has stayed on the back of the green.
So it's one of those things, isn't it? If you're 3 down when you let it go and you miss, you're still 3 down.
Yeah, you're no worse off.
But you don't want to make a habit of being 3 down in a game like this.
If Jessie can get up in front of that bowl, oh no, it's going to die onto it. Oh. No one saw that, Adam. It's a good thing we're not broadcasting. Well, there's opportunity here for Trish if she does play a bit of weight. If she gets the inside edge of the shot bowl, she couldn't come through and clean out the other 2. If she gets onto the bowl square enough, she'll move the jack out to the right, which is in her advantage as well.
Yeah, it's got some pace on it.
She can get a result off Jessie's as well. Wow, that's probably not quite how we saw that one going, but...
No, it's effective, but...
Craig's not going to give in that easy. He's going to go to the measures. I believe we've got some stats now.
We haven't had an umpire out here yet today that we've seen, have we?
We had the umpire do the jack measure, but we've not had an umpire determine the shot yet.
No. Suspect it may be coming.
Yeah, I do get that feeling. So we've got Margaret Eames, our International Technical Officer, which is fancy speak for a very qualified umpire. She's out here doing a TV match this afternoon.
I hope we don't get international technical officers on the cricket because it's hard enough with the 3rd umpire.
Oh no, it's a very fancy title for umpire. So
yeah,
Umpiring, in a simple version, has 3 levels of certification, with basically club, national and international. So international being the international officer, which basically means that she's qualified to do Commonwealth Games and World Bowls events and all those big marquee fixtures like this one.
And if you want her attention, you say umpire.
Yes. You know, international technical officer is a bit of a mouthful to shout out on the bowling green.
Just a little.
So it's 1 to Craig there. So Trish had done enough in turning it in.
Yeah, I'm sure Craig didn't know that he had the shot until very recently.
And there we go, Paul. Some of the most successful players in this event. In the 25 years it's been run, we've only had several that have won it twice. Esther Yu and Scott Harrison there, as you mentioned, winning it in 18 and 19. Ivan Wally Marsick and Maria Broadbent winning it in 2002 and 2003.
And I see Neville Hill got a back-to-back.
Neville Hill got a back-to-back as well, but with different partners. I believe one of them was Raylene Castle, and I can't quite remember who the other one was. We can put the dates together, I'm sure. So, yeah, a real interesting opportunity for someone to kind of own this event. And obviously, as you say, Esther and Scotty were right in the money this morning.
Well, they've been very effective. But the thing is, you get an awful lot of good players turn up to this event. So you don't have to do very much wrong to lose by 1 shot. That's not a bad bowl there, Adam.
Great bowl from Adam Haywood.
And if you're on the wrong end of a one shot result, that's you out of there.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at the round of 16 yesterday afternoon and going through that field, and there were some very high caliber teams and matchups. You know, the likes of Peter Ballas and his wife Reen Ballas, they were knocked out by a shot yesterday afternoon as well. They lost to Trish and Craig, actually.
Well, Aidan and Rebecca beat Jamie Hill and Dale Rayner by 1 shot or 2 shots.
2 very good players in their own right as well. So, you know, the top 8, you know, 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, look at that. 1 on and 1 behind.
Yeah, beautiful lead bowls from Adam Haywood. Yeah, the top 8 this morning before the players took to the green, it was pretty hard to pick a winner. You know, it was all going to be about who jumped on the green and found it early.
I wouldn't have been rushing down to invest any of my hard-earned on forecasting a winner before we started.
No, not at all.
Yeah, now we're starting to get serious because he's using that rag as a marker, cloth.
I think the difference between Adam and Craig bending down to the green is it's probably a little bit easier for Adam to get back up again.
There is a suspicion that may be the case.
Although I must say, Craig is actually an incredibly fit individual.
Very nice effort.
How old would he be? Because he's had massive success in Taranaki.
I don't want to guess; it could be offensive, but he would be well into his 60s. I know he still works. He works in the parts department for one of the big car yards down there.
Okay, but he's had an enormous amount of success in Taranaki centre bowls.
Oh yes, yeah, for sure. A couple of Taranaki Open titles to his name. Definitely probably the most, or if not, or very close to the most singles titles.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a regular contender, you know, in the pointy ends of competitions.
Not a bad bowl at all.
Yeah, brilliant bowl from Trish there.
Yeah, sorry, interrupted.
Yeah, no. I was just saying he's definitely always at the pointy end of competitions. It's very rarely do you not see him in the last sort of 4 or 8 in Taranaki.
Yeah.
It's a really competitive scene down in Taranaki, I must say. There's a lot of young players coming through. Of course, Briar Atkinson is currently in the Blackjack squad. She's a little wobble from Jessie. You know, Briar's only, you know, just coming up to 20.
Yeah.
Been playing bowls for 6 or 7 years now, very competitive. You've got Kaylin Hulia, who also played in this event, who started originally at Jury Hill in Wanganui, sort of honed his craft at Paratutu and is now overseas playing at the Point in Sydney.
Aidan
Zitterstein
was another
as
one
well,
who was
Cook
good
Island
down there.
International, who's now also living over and playing bowls in Australia. So
Commonwealth Games medalist, no less.
yeah. So a lot of talent, a lot of young talent as well has come out of Taranaki, and a lot of that success is attributed to playing against guys like Craig and Dean Alger and
John Roberts would be another one.
John Roberts, Darren Gooden.
Yep, you're a good window there, Adam.
Yeah, I almost put myself in that esteemed category of good players, but I decided against it.
Well, actually, I hadn't thought about including you in the list. That's only an oversight on my part. I'm not making a social statement here.
Nice effort.
We mentioned that in the semi-final broadcast. If you hear good effort, it normally means it's not involved in the count.
We've got 3. Just try and get one on the tee.
Yeah, really good call there from Haywood. Holding 3 in that situation, you don't really want to make the target any bigger. 3 is definitely more than enough. We didn't see too many multiples in the semi-final. I don't think there might have been 1-3 across the whole game.
One on the second end and one on the 14th, and one on the 7th. So, but they all involved displaced jacks.
Yeah, a couple, but definitely nothing greater than a 3.
No.
So,
No, and there were only a handful of 2s in there as well. There was 3 to Rebecca Jelson, Aidan Takarua, and 2 to Trish and Craig. So there's an awful lot of singles involved in that.
yep. It's our first gentleman, Peter Blick, wife of our centre president, and Peter and Helen have played together this weekend in some very festive shirts. Their grandchildren bought them some Hawaiian shirts with their faces all over them. So they've been walking around the bowling clubs of Auckland this week sporting their grandchildren's faces. Certainly adding a bit of colour and character to the game.
Yeah, were they matching shirts or?
Yes,
or
they were matching enough. I'm not sure if they were perfectly matched, but they were definitely off style.
So what do you got here?
Craig looking for a bit of a run. You can see it come very poorly out of the hand.
Gonna say, what's he running at?
I think he's just sort of running for a hit and hope type of shot there, to be honest.
Yeah, Aidan was on those, wasn't he? Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
So Adam makes his way down the other end without too much damage having been done.
As Craig takes a practice swing in the background. Yeah, I think we'll see Adam come into the back here again. Craig's sort of made his intent pretty clear, so anything behind the head.
Yeah, interesting
Oh,
case.
yeah, I don't know if he's tried to go heavy and drop short, or if he's attempted to execute a 4th.
Yeah. See, Nick, if you're going to do that, you have this one here.
This is not an uncommon sight either. Craig walking up to have another look.
No, there's not much puts him off his stroke. He will do his own thing in his own way and in his own time.
Very much so.
But when he turns around and walks away, he'll have a very clear idea of what he's about to do. His own bowls, the 2 short ones are both his own.
So we're going to see a bit of weight again. A bit more controlled than his previous delivery. He's holding up nicely. This is going to get something. Oh.
Yeah, so they're now sitting there 3 down.
Difficult one to improve on, really.
You would say so.
You could argue that it's pretty open on the left side of screen to draw something close, but
the drag goes back to the opposition.
Very
bowl,
dangerous to
doesn't it?
touch the jack.
Yeah, then put the bowl in the pocket. So looks like we're going to be having a wear measure for the third. I think Adam and Jess are pretty confident that they have it. That's the purple ring bowl is the one that they are interested in.
Great view from the balcony. The Howick Bowling Club looking down over the green.
If you hadn't said that, people would have thought there was a spider cam out there. See, because it would have turned around like that. Yep, 3 shots.
Yeah, definitely 3 shots there to the Auckland Bowling Club combination of Adam and Jessie. So 5-3 after 5 ends completed. And the World Bowls Series continues next week with the Somerset National Singles and Pairs hosted by Bowls New Zealand down in the Canterbury region. And that will, of course, be broadcast live on Sky for all 8 days. Alex and the team at Bowls New Zealand will be bringing you that coverage. I'm assuming from the Burnside Bowling Club, although they have also recently been using... the name slipped my mind now. They've been using some other venues around Canterbury as headquarters as well.
They have some pretty good facilities at Papanui amongst others, don't they? Well, the marvel of the modern age, you dial it up on some internet advisory service. So while Brendan's doing that, we'll look at Trish put up the jack because Jessie's attempt didn't have enough mustard on it, and this one looks as if it hasn't either, so the jack is going to disappear off onto the tee.
Fendleton Bowling Club is the other one that they tend to use for headquarters. And a right mind blank then.
No, I think this is on its way back.
Yeah, it's going to be going back again, so it's got to reach a minimum of 23 metres.
Yep.
Both players have incorrectly delivered the jack, therefore it gets placed on the 2 metre mark, with the original team having the choice of the mat position. And I wouldn't be surprised if this mat's brought quite a fair way up the green. If you do want to have a go at bowls and want to check out your local club, you can head to your local centre's website. So for Auckland, of course, bowlsauckland.co.nz, or you can head to bowlsnewzealand.co.nz, and both websites have a find a club space. There's 460-ish clubs around Auckland, so around New Zealand, sorry. So there's definitely going to be one near you. 38 clubs in Auckland City alone, from Pihar out west to Maraetai out east and everything in between. We're also very fortunate here in Auckland to be very closely neighboured to the North Harbour and Counties Macaw centres. So there's something like 65 to 70 clubs in the greater Auckland region. So definitely plenty of opportunity to go out there and find your local bowling club, get a part of all the action, and of course, as we mentioned a little bit earlier on today, clubs being the heart of their community, so all sorts of other activities. It's not just bowls going on at the club. You've got judo, you've got bridge, you've got housey, bingo, darts, pool, snooker, you name it, you'll probably find it at a bowling club near you. So head over to our website, take a look, find your local club and be a part of all the fun.
Yeah, and it's not just sporting events either. Probus and arts groups and all that sort of thing tend to use bowling clubs because the facilities are normally pretty good. They're used to catering for anything up to a couple of hundred people, I guess. And the clubs want to be part of the community, and so they're quite happy to get out there and find ways of getting engagement.
Yeah. And whilst the game's moved on from the 90s, the bar prices definitely haven't, so...
Yeah, well, there is that, but the thing I found before I started playing, which was eight years ago now, was through work I was involved with media at bowls tournaments. And the clubs, the thing that really attracted me, everywhere we went, the clubs tended to be full of good people. And so when life changed a bit, the fact that there were so many good people in bowling clubs was a real attraction, because if you're involved in a sport or a recreation or something, you really want it to be amongst people who you like. And that was the big selling point for me, the social aspect of it. So there's plenty for everyone. And the fact my old man had taken it up when he was 80 and he quite enjoyed himself. There was a group of them went up to the Kandala Bowling Club in Wellington every week to have a game of fours. So there was 8 of the old boys from the neighbourhood used to go up there and enjoy themselves a couple of mornings a week. Dad reckoned I might enjoy it, so I tried it and I did enjoy it.
I've just been promptly informed by 2-time national singles winner Debbie White that the first 4 days will be headquartered at Burnside Bowling Club, and the following 4 days will be headquartered at Elmwood Park Bowling Club.
I'd imagine Debbie would not get that sort of information wrong.
No, she'll probably be planning to play at post section on both of those occasions, so I trust she'll want to know where she's heading.
Yep. No, a very able player.
I'm probably going to get another text message shortly telling me that it's a 3-time singles winner, but we'll see how that one plays out.
No, that's between you and Debbie. That's nothing to do with me.
Very accomplished player anyway. A lot of success from the JBWere Club down in the Waikato.
Yep.
Just a little bit under the line there. I think Craig was looking to move that jack back a little bit. Just get it off the 2-metre spot.
Debbie's the reigning singles champion, is she not? She won at Browns Bay last year.
Yes.
This year?
Yes, correct.
Beat Wendy Jensen in the final, if I remember right.
Yep.
So, yeah, and that was, she turned that into a bit of an exhibition. She played really well. Anyway, that's not happening on our TVs at the moment. That's for next week. So I'll stick with what we're watching. Oh, you were talking about Helen Blick. There she is in the background of shot with the dark blue hat.
Oh, she's put her president's uniform on.
Yep, and so the grandchildren shirt is no longer on display.
Yeah, pretty tidy bowl there from Craig. That'll be the second shot.
Yep.
So Adam's just hanging out a little bit wide there. He's got his weight right. He just needs to find the line. Been a pretty low-scoring affair so far as we approach the halfway mark.
You sort of expect it, to be honest. You know, eight bowls per team, you'd think, oh, yeah, there'll be big scores here and there, but quality of the player involved, no, it's not going to happen very often. But Jess is under an interesting sort of pressure here because neither of them have found their touch on the wide hand on this end, and we talked about it 15 minutes ago that they had changed onto the clubhouse side with a reasonable degree of success, but subsequent to that they've gone back out to the wider hand. So interesting thought processes involved right at the moment. Looks like they're going to stay on the wide hand. Maybe the tighter line that they're looking for. Might be looking for Craig's bowl. Sit that. Or waddle on off.
She's got a good little wobble there. That'll be the shot.
thought I heard something in the sound effects from the venue of Jack in the Ditch.
Well, it's definitely an option. You've got the bowl as an option to take out for shot. You hold 2. You can just see Trish's bowl at the bottom of frame along with Craig's. So there's a couple of shots, maybe 2 or 3 shots there if she can get the jack through to the ditch.
She's going to have a crack.
Yeah, big weight on the backhand. Way offline.
Depends.
Wow. Wow.
We've just seen that. So
well, yeah, that was...
don't give up on it too quick.
I would suggest that Jessie's still holding the shot.
Well, nothing changed between the two bowls on the 2 metre line.
Adam looked frustrated, but not so frustrated as to suggest that he was down.
Okay, well, this one could be quite useful, depending on what it hits on the way through. Doesn't want to do too much damage to that.
Oh, she
still hanging in there, I think.
had a good go at giving it away. So 1 bowl left to play.
Yeah, it's not a bad question for a weighted shot in that situation. Is it locked? He says, no, it's not.
It's not locked, but it won't necessarily go a long way either.
No, and the wing bowl on the right, as we were looking at it, belongs to Adam.
She switched to the forehand and she's pulled that one across. She's going to
give up
get
on
the
it.
inside edge of her own. Wow, she's going to push it across to Faria's bowl. And it will be 1 to Craig Faria and Trish Croot.
It
With
might
a
be
little
2
bit of luck
yet.
on their side. No, I think
1.
you'd be hard pressed. She's not proud of that one.
She's not going to give it back, mind.
No, playing to the crowd a little bit.
Okay,
So-
so just the 1.
I believe we have Dennis ringside with Paul Hickey, the greenkeeper from Howick Bowling Club. So we'll pop down ringside over to Dennis and get some words from expert greenkeeper Paul Hickey. Over to you, Dennis.
Yes, thank you very much. I do have Paul Hickey with me, the head greenkeeper here at Howick Bowling Club. Now, I have been, this is a little bit of a setup question, but I have been asked to ask you, how long have you been here? So I'm either guessing it's very short, new amount of time, or you've been here for a very, very long time.
It could be called too long, actually. Probably just under 40 years. So, yeah, I fell into it when I was early 20s. Came here for an interview and sort of held the job and been here since. Really enjoyed it.
So you were saying 1986?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow. Now, look, I'm not going to pretend that I know anything about, looking after bowls, greens, etc. But some of the stuff I've read, brown top, rye, starweed, etc. So how do you go about making, all the reviews from the bowlers have been, this is an international surface, we absolutely love it. So how do you go about getting the surface so good?
A lot of time. We started off when I first greenkeeping. It was cotula, and then it's moved to starweed, and there's a bit of maniattato intermixed with it. But it's just a lot of effort, and I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. I have volunteers that help me set up and do the greens, and it's just a lot of work, a lot of experience. Yeah, and my little babies, all of them. And for instance, yesterday it rained, and I sprayed the greens for a wetting agent and for a fungus of fairy rings, and then cut them all in the afternoon. So it was a long day. So that sort of work goes into it. A lot of prep and a lot of effort. Yeah.
Paul, Kevin Hicklin was saying earlier that not only is it the main green, it's all 3 of them are of impeccable standard. So your care factor of making sure that no matter which rink or which green you're playing on, it's the best it can be.
Yeah, I put a lot of effort and love into it, and as you can call it. But my satisfaction's being, having people say, oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, I ask the winners, of course. I don't ask the losers. But yeah, so yeah, it's just a lifestyle, and I've just stuck to it and enjoyed it, to be honest. Yeah.
Has it evolved as time goes on? You've talked about the different sort of breeds of grass or a weed in terms of starweed. So how do you sort of keep up, and do you travel or talk to other greenkeepers and go, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, you do. You pick bits up, and you get on with certain guys, and give you information, and yeah, you just learn. You still learn, chemicals, you just ways of doing things. Yeah, it's a learning. It's just a lifestyle, and it's I like it. Yeah. Yeah, it's good, yeah.
And if I said to you had no budget limitations and you could do anything, would there be any particular toys or anything in particular, if you could go crazy, what would you do? What would be your dream green?
I'd like to be like the stadiums of golf where they have money. And I could do things, resurface them, drainage would be great. But to be honest, bowls, as I said to you earlier, it's not a lot of money in the sport, and the young ones aren't coming through. If you're young, you'd go to stadiums or golf. Unfortunately, that's what it is, and I don't know what the answer is. But as you can see, people enjoy the turf, enjoy the grass, and it'd be sad to see us all going artificial in the future, but it's unfortunate. I think that's the way it's leaning in New Zealand anyway. Yeah.
I've got to say, Paul, all the bowlers that I've spoken to want to play on real grass, and also I know you're very modest, but just on behalf of everyone that I have spoken to, the club and of course Bowls Auckland, they're very, very proud of the surface, and you should be very proud of yourself. So thank you very much for providing such a wonderful green for us to play on.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks for the time, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely really appreciate the work that Paul puts in at Howick, and as the operations manager at Bowls Auckland, there's certainly a few 6 a.m. phone calls between Paul and I. How are the greens looking? What condition are we going to be in? Can the tournament be run today? So, we do really rely on our greenkeepers. They are the lifeblood of our sport in Auckland. And as Paul mentioned, we do have a lot of artificials coming through now, which is great for year-round bowls, but there's just something special about playing on a grass surface, Paul.
Yeah, well, Paul doesn't only do Howick, which is a picture, but he also looks after his tamaki as well, which I have played on a number of occasions, and you get exactly the same sort of playing surface out there. It's quite an interesting concept, playing at East Tamaki on a Saturday when the PD boys are doing the community garden. It's not what you see in some of the upmarket bowling clubs, but Paul does a great job out there too, because the greens are always pretty quick, and they're always true. A bad bowl is not going to become a good bowl halfway down, or the reverse, and I don't know of anybody who gets a twisted sandshoe face on when they're told they're playing at Howick or East Tamaki, because they know the greens are going to be spot on.
All right, it's only usually the Westies that have to drive for an hour and a half to get there.
Oh yeah, but that's because they live out west.
Yeah, they chose to live out west, exactly. But no, yeah, Paul also consults at St Heliers and Glendowie as well. So definitely a very key player in the greenkeeping around Auckland, and it's been an interesting end while we've had that interview with Paul, and we talked about greens for a bit. We've seen a couple of jack movements and some very key bowls. Trish Croot trailing the jack through to the off-centre position we find it in now.
Yeah, because I think they might have been...
Here comes the rain.
Well, that's going to make everybody feel really good about life, isn't it? That's not a bad nut here. Given the trick of getting out there, that's not a bad bowl, that one.
Yeah. So while we're on the conversation of greens,
the rain was in the forecast.
Yeah, not till a little bit later on this afternoon, and it's come a lot earlier than we were expecting.
I'm just looking at those corporate beanbags. They could be getting pretty wet out there if people aren't.
Yeah, well, I've certainly noticed there's nobody sitting in them anymore.
I wonder why that would be.
Yeah, no, we will play through this, but the quality of the green really speaks to these kind of conditions. So we talk about surface feel. So a green ideally should be quite firm and dry underneath, which ultimately means that when it's raining like this, the surface will hold up for a very long time. When it's soft and I hate to use the word, but moist underneath, the water starts to pool very quickly, and it makes the green unplayable. So it'll be a true testament to see how long this green will last. And I suspect, just quietly, given the type of rain we have and that quick passing wind shower, we're going to be able to play through this uninterrupted.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those ones that you'd expect to have pools of water all over it in 10 minutes. And it's not bucketing with rain, it's just raining. So what's happened with this displaced jack? Oh, there's another bowl getting nudged sideways into the picture. Everybody's missing by quite a bit at the moment. So one shot to the Croot to Faria combination, but just coming down with that displaced jack right across towards the clubroom side of the rink. Finding people missing by quite a ways on both hands, to be fair. Is this one going to get in the picture? He's pretty good as a rule. Yeah,
that's just. I think he's just going to be shy of Jessie's bowl there.
Yeah.
It's still one to Trish's yellow disced bowl.
We're going to. There you go. It might be a bit more than. Well, certainly the first bowl is in the picture. Here comes a drive, and that's going to thunder into the back.
Not too far away, to be fair. But it'll be 1-2 the Faria Croot combination.
Yep, they didn't argue about that for very long, did they?
Which makes us 5-all, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken, and
having
that's
played
18's gone.
So 6 to go.
Only one end has seen more than one posted. And that was that 3 that was picked up by Adam and Jessie on the 6th. Both teams would love 2 2s in a row, wouldn't they? That would make you feel very happy, and you'd also feel that you'd done the good work to get there. Not a bad starter.
Really good opener from Trish.
You can see the wind is starting to move things around a little more than it has been in the back of shot.
Yeah, that little downpour will make things interesting because it's just enough to wet the clothes to the point where they'll become a little bit sticky and horrible to be wearing. So the jacket will come off.
Good
just to
here.
free up the body motion. Yeah, great opening bowl from Jessie Macaw. Look at that. Can't ask for much more than that.
Well, you can, but you'd be pretty miserable.
Yeah, you'd be asking a little too much, I think.
You should have stayed right on the jack, right on the end behind for preference. No, a very good opener.
Good areas again from Trish. She can get down to her own bowl.
But at a stage like this of a game like this, where points are really hard to come by, it won't take long before that bowl of Jessie's is starting to look quite important, and it's also shrinking with every bowl that doesn't actually quite get up there, and especially if she pops another one in reasonable proximity.
Yeah, when I'm coaching, I often talk about the concept of patience, and it's about the idea that when you're playing a game, especially like this, you just have to trust that you're good enough to score. You know that there's a 3 or 4 in there somewhere, and we haven't seen a 3 or 4 really.
We had one.
Oh, we've had one, yeah, but they're certainly not easy to come by. So you have to have the patience to trust that you can do it, but then you've also got to have that little element of luck to have the opposition allow you to do it. And in this position, I feel like both teams are just looking for that break, especially as we hit the 10th end. And we get down to that sort of psychological, we're in the double digits, home run phase.
Yeah, if you're 4 ends away.
Getting that little scoring break will be will be quite advantageous.
Oh, and the closer you get to the end of the game, the less time the opposition's got to make it up if you can drop a wriggly number on them.
See two really good back bowls there from the yellow disced bowls. So giving themselves something to play to. Seems that quick little 30-second downpour has come and gone.
Yep. Right, here we go, because Craig has been very accurate with his weight for most of the day on this ring. It's another one out the back. I wonder if just a bit of moisture on the grass has quickened it up, just put a skin on it that the bowls are running over.
I mean, it can go one of two ways. The moisture can either make it a little bit stickier, a little bit slower as the water creates friction, or as you say, it can create a really slick surface that allows the bowls to run on. And
Adam's working on the fact that it's a bit of a skin and the bowls are sliding on a bit.
Yeah, you can see in just the way that Craig's kind of starting to push his bowls a bit heavy, and Adam's, I guess, responding to Craig's bowls a little bit and just pulling back the weight or the bowl speed.
But I suspect also they're both thinking, well, maybe we just skinny it up a bit, because if it's sliding over the grass, it's going to take a little longer before the wind gets onto it. That's one of the roughest ones Craig said down all day.
That's that frustrating shot where it's really tempting to trail the jack back for 3 or 4, but you have to be so millimetre perfect to execute the shot in these conditions.
Yeah, but that one's not really breaking, is it, the way we've seen them come back off that line?
That one's quite a bit heavier than the previous deliveries. Oh, there we go. We get a nice real close-up of the grandchildren. Rob Ashton and Linda there, Linda Ralph, they were last year's runner-ups of this event.
They went pretty deep as well.
Yeah, they found themselves in Division 2 this year. They played Alex Reid and Jenny Stockford, who were last year's defending champions, so had a repeat of last year's final.
This has got more going for it.
Yeah, great effort just out. Yes, as I was saying, they had a repeat of last year's final in Division 2 in the round of 16 last night.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, Alex and Jenny winning last year. Rob and Linda flipped the script. Another 1-point match, 11-10 last night. So certainly you see a lot of really good teams pop up in Division 2 and 3, because all it takes is a couple of results, any given way, and suddenly you find some really good teams down in Division 3 and 4.
Well, there's so many good combinations at the tournament that they can't all finish top of their section.
No, of course not.
And it's one of the beauties of a thing like this, because also there were very few sections. I didn't go through and count exactly how many, but only a handful of the sections had a 5 winner. A lot of them were decided on points differential between two 4-game winners. And down in the Division 3, Division 4, there was a lot of differential deciding who was who and what was what. No wonder it's a tournament that attracts players from all over, because you know that the standard of competition is going to be very high, and it's just challenging. There were people at Howick on the first day who are running into Barry Lester now. If you watch him in the Aussie tournament, boy, he can play some bowls.
But yeah, as we mentioned earlier, though, that Barry got rattled in the first round by a couple of locals who probably wouldn't have thought, had you told them the day before they were going to put one over on an international player. So it's anything's possible on a bowling green, and I guess that's what makes bowls such a great sport, is that you can step up and beat a world champion on any given day. And people often talk about the difference between bowls and tennis, where like in tennis, if you're ranked in the outside the top 1,000 players, when are you ever going to get to play the likes of Federer and Nadal and all those types of guys? But when you're playing bowls, you can rock up here in this tournament and you've got the 6th best ranked player in the world, you've got you know, Taylor Bruce will be playing
Good ball,
nationals
yeah.
next week, who's the national singles champion and probably the, you know, up there amongst the world bowls in the rankings as well. So, you know, so many international players, past world champions, and anybody can get out there and have a go at them and be successful.
Well, there'll be juniors playing in the nationals who will be playing against decorated internationals. Last time the tournament.
Oh, great bowl here from Trish.
Has she got it or not?
She's
Yeah,
got it.
She's got it.
And she's come through as well.
And that's.
And Craig's bowls are in the back, so 2, maybe 3 there.
Whose is that one? That's
That's
yellow.
Trish's as
yellow.
well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're all yellow stickers in the back.
But yeah, very unique aspect to bowls. You can come up against anybody and you can have a good go.
And I'm sure everybody who's ever played in the Nationals will have stories of the time they drew Shannon McElroy, or these days Aidan Takarua, or Ryan Bester was in Christchurch a couple of years ago. So they'd just won the world singles at that stage.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen in rugby anymore. You can't go and turn out for your club and run into an All Black.
No.
It doesn't happen anymore. I think
they're being from Taranaki. You do occasionally see the Barretts rock up at the Coastal Cricket Club and play First Division cricket, but not very often. They still play for Coastal occasionally, I suppose.
Yeah, Ponsonby, we get a few of them, because we've got All Blacks who turn out for us on a fairly regular basis when they can. They're not allowed to most of the time. How many do we get here? They seem to be doing a fair bit of measuring. It sounded like a 4.
Yeah, that's what I think too. So that's that jump that we were discussing.
That's the break, and it was all one bowl, just trailing the jack out of a tight situation.
Just waiting for final confirmation from our scorers.
There you go,
You see in the
9-5
background
after
there.
9 ends.
9-5.
And with only 5 ends to play, that is a significant and quite pivotal swing, really.
Definitely. Yeah, not Craig's best opener. Both men have had their share, I suppose, of dominating the lead bowls.
It's a funny thing for a final. You'd be hard-pressed to pick anybody out who's dominating the game or becoming the most significant player out there, because they're having their moments when they're really strong. And
yeah.
The word was that Trish played very well in the first game of the day. She certainly played some good bowls in the second game of the day, but Craig was really very consistent. Here he comes again.
I mean, Trish has definitely had some good results in this final. She's played a couple of weighted shots where she's been in the right kind of area and had a bit of luck fall her way. I mean, obviously that last end with the drive was a bit of fortune. But
there's been a couple of those.
Yeah, but then equally she's had some really just good weighted yard on shots where she's been in the right kind of area and had good results go her way as well. So. Yeah,
he had a miss by plenty with both of his.
A couple of undesirable efforts from Adam Haywood on the 10th end here.
And that's unlike him to be quite as rough as that. Because if they were looking at the second one to see if it went in the ditch, it's 2.5 metres over where he wanted it to be. And that is not him as a rule.
It's looking like we might have a few spits of rain again. We weren't expecting to see any of this until about sort of 5:30 this afternoon, so
it's Auckland, Brendan. If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes.
To be fair, it's 20 to 5 now, so it hasn't come through too early. Certainly going to add a layer to the final.
Yeah, well, it must be getting cold out there because Adam's got his long tats on, so it's
The wind picking up at 41 kilometres an hour off the northeast.
Oh, you can hear it in the sound, can't you? It's there is some quite heavy rain around in parts of Auckland at the moment, apparently. So Howick doesn't look like it's really copping it yet. This is a very good bowl.
Yeah, great shot from Trish. And this is where I think momentum becomes really important. We talked about it in the previous game.
Look at that wind just on the
look
clouds.
at it now.
Yeah, this is pretty ugly.
Yep.
Okay, the heavy rain has made its way to Howick. And boy, is it raining.
Ooh.
That's chucking it down. Okay, pause and play.
Yeah.
And there go all the boundary markers and all the rest of it. So Brendan is really enjoying life at the moment, because as a staff member from Bowls Auckland, he could have been out there trying to rescue those cloths as they blow all around the eastern suburbs. He's not. He's sitting in the nice dry studio.
Yeah, no, I certainly don't envy the players right now, that's for sure. It's,
you can see it ponding really quick. It's bucketing down.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate end to what has been a really, well, hopefully it's not the end, but it's certainly an unfortunate little break in play from what has been quite a thrilling final, really.
Yeah, well, our sound effects microphone's just gone for a skate.
Yeah, you can see the wind blowing places around. So whilst we have this little break in play, we might just have a quick look through some of the previous winners of this event. As we mentioned last year, Alex Reid and Jenny Stockford were successful here at the Howick Bowling Club. Alex earning his gold star with this event, which for those of you who don't know, denotes 5 Auckland Centre titles. Mike Galloway and Lisa Prideaux the year before that event was moved undercover because of weather like this. So played at the JBWere Bowling Club, and that was probably one of the best finals that you will probably see going around. It's still on our YouTube channel if you have time. Go and take a look at that, because that was an exceptional match.
That was the year Lisa really tore it up, wasn't it? She was winning just about everything.
Yeah.
And Mike's one of those guys who
just wins everything.
Well, he's been so good for so long that if he gets into a composite like that, and they both hit their straps together, because Lisa had won a bucket load of Auckland titles. She'd gone from no gold stars to 2 in fairly short order, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think she won something like 7. I think she won 5 in a year, which was the first time it had ever been done. But then equally had won, I think, 2 the year before, or 2 the season before, sorry, and 2 the season after. So, yeah, she was always a fairly consistent bowler. She'd had some national success, sort of hadn't had too much on the Auckland scene, and then went from sort of, well, by no means a zero, but certainly one of the best players going around very quickly. Yeah, you can see the aftermath of the wind coming through here at Howick.
So the bean bags are a bit short of a length at the moment. It's looking a bit like the Basin Reserve with the covers blowing in all directions. So we're 9-5 at the moment to Trish, Croot and Craig Faria over Adam Haywood and Jessie Macaw, and we've completed 9 ends. They've left everything where it was at that time. Whether they restart the end or they continue from where they were is something that will be in the COPs.
Yeah, so what should be happening here is the rain bell's been rung, so the head should be cleared and this end will be restarted.
Yep.
So we're just trying to wait to hear from the ground where the play is going to continue. So we look at some of the most successful clubs for this event over its 25 years. So Onehunga, which
the top 2 no longer exist.
Yeah, well, Onehunga technically still exists under the Royal Oak moniker these days, amalgamating with Hillsborough to form Royal Oak.
Yeah.
But yeah, plenty of successful players at Onehunga over the years, including Mike Kernahan and Mike Galloway, as you mentioned.
And you go back to Frank Livingston, who was one of the first players to get a New Zealand centre gold star.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of good players come out of that club.
Yeah, the Avondale Bowling Club's had a pretty good track record here as well. Most of those through Neville Hill and Mike Bradshaw as well, who had won this event in its early days, who unfortunately passed away prior to Christmas. The bowling community gathered around on the Saturday before this event kicked off for Mike's funeral. It was a very, very touching and emotional day, very reflective of a man who's given a lot to bowls, and particularly the representative scene in Auckland over the last 20, 30 years.
He loved his bowls and he really respected the game. I remember getting ticked off by him at one Auckland Centre prize giving because I wasn't representing my club in the club colours. And Mike was there in his blue blazer and his whites, and he had all his pins and badges for the various titles he'd won. It's a wonder his left shoulder wasn't dragged down and he was walking around in little circles, because he had massive success in the game, but he just loved the game and respected everything about it. And it's a very vivid memory I'll retain of him. He was a guy who really held the game close to his heart. So yeah, he will be a loss.
Yeah. 1989, he started his bowls career. Over 50 club titles, 9 centre titles, silver in the New Zealand Pairs in 2021. So still very competitive on the scene. But I understand we have Dennis braving the rain down there. We're going to get a bit of an update on what's happening at Howick Bowling Club. So Dennis, we'll pass down to you ringside.
Yes, I'm with the CEO of Bowls Auckland, Dean Bartlett. Well, Dean, I bet you didn't expect that. I don't think any of us expected an absolute downpour all of a sudden. Everything flying around. I guess in terms of update, what happens from this stage as soon as the green is ready to go?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, being in Auckland, we're well versed to these types of things.
Yeah, true.
I don't think this was forecast as well, but we had a lot of this yesterday, and the players have been super hardy through the last 3 days. In terms of today, there's still an hour left in terms of the play time. There's only about 5 ends to go, so we've got plenty of time to get it finished within the allotment of time. So what we'll do is wait for it to stop raining, or to stop raining to a point. We can clear the green of any surface water, and the players will be back very quickly.
So basically, if the surface is playable, the bowls will resume and off we go again.
Yeah, and bowlers are real hardier than other sports potentially. So they'll be out there in no time at all.
I was going to get a bit cheeky and talk to you about cricketers because obviously I know you are an ex-cricketer. But yeah, very different type of sports, isn't it, Dean?
Yeah, similar in terms of the surface type, but the bowlers are a lot hardier than cricketers. And we're really lucky in Auckland, we've got artificial carpet surfaces and also covered greens as well. So even if it was to torrentially downpour here, we've got the backup and a carpet green up top if we do want to move to that.
Look, I can see your crew looking at you and wanting you to go and help and move some stuff, so I'll let you carry on, and sorry about getting smart to you, but I did enjoy it and I appreciate you letting me.
Easy, thanks. And see some bowls going.
All right, thanks, Dean. So that's the update here from the Howick Bowling Club. We're just waiting for the surface to be playable, and then bowls will resume. As you heard from Dean, there is about an hour to play, so plenty of time. Five or so ends to go, so we will be absolutely fine. So Brendan and Paul, when we get dry, as you can see, I don't know if we've got some cameras set up, but over on the rink next to us, they're already just testing a bit of a roll to see if the bowls are okay, and it seems to be that the bowls are rolling and bowling okay. So it's amazing, the drainage, and I know we talked to Paul Hickey just before, but he has done an absolutely exceptional job. I didn't expect the surface water. There was a good couple of mils there. I thought, oh, this might take a little while, but he's done an exceptional job, and these are very, very hardy greens in terms of being able to absorb that water, let it run through, and I don't think it'll be very far until we're back up and rolling a few bowls. Our camera crew's setting back up. We can see our bowlers are back out doing their thing, and I'll give us a few minutes and we'll be back underway, no problems.
Oh, well, Dean was getting a bit funny about how bowls players are so hardy. Well, of course they are, because it's a summer game invented by Scots. You don't expect it to be played in sunshine all the time.
No, definitely not.
Bowls and golf.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an interesting one here. So generally, if play was abandoned because the green floods, you'd kick the bowls off and start again. Well, that's what they are going to do. Cool, lovely. There was a brief moment there where I thought they might have just continued, given that the green hadn't flooded, but the ITO has ensured that the rules have been upheld, which is always good to see.
Yep. Oh well, it also looks as if it won't be long before we're back into gear.
Yeah,
But
so I
you,
think
you see that darker patch down at the end that they've just left to kick the bowls up. There are patches where the grass is slightly different at Howick, and once they get wet, they come up showing a different colour, and it might be an interesting thing if people try to play through them. They're normally a bit closer to the clubhouse than they need to be for this particular game because it's just out off the clubhouse a bit. But normally the number one rink playing in this direction, you can have that grass, and it can be a bit funny when it gets wet.
Yeah, and I mean, you can definitely see from a couple of the cameras there's still a few spits around the ground, but yeah, that little heavy, almost like a little mini tornado that just ripped through the club there, uplifted all of our set design, and we're going to continue the rest of this game without all the pretty features and branding. But I think the main part here is that the bowls will continue, and I'm sure the players will be very keen to finish this game. The good thing about the green here at Howick, and as Dean alluded to in his little chat with Dennis there, this isn't the first time we've played at Howick and we've had rain interruptions. So the surface holds up very well. We're able to get back out there very quickly. And actually, from a playing perspective, the green won't have changed too much with that little downpour because it's been so quick, and it soaked it up really quickly.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad start,
Yeah, well,
is it?
look at that, you know, like not too much has changed when you can put a bowl within a metre straight out of the gate.
All right, so we're back into it again. 5 ends to play, and Trish, Croot and Craig Faria 4 shots to the good at the moment. But there is plenty of bowls to be played in this one before we're done. Jessie Macaw telling the bowl where she wants it to go, but it's like a teenager, doesn't listen. And I would imagine that their cloths are going to get plenty of practice at wiping bowls over the next little bit. They're a fairly good sized cloth too, to be fair.
Yeah, no, they're a very good cloth actually. I was having a look at them the other day when I was out at Howick running all the results room, and they're a very generous size. Quite often you see bowling cloths, these little small dainty squares that last all of about 20 minutes in the rain, but no, they're a really good sized cloth, and they're microfiber, and they do a really good job. So
I must have done something wrong. I didn't know where the freebies were.
Oh, you weren't looking in the right rooms, Paul.
Oh, can't have been. I thought as a player of any sport, you know where the free stuff is.
But a little treat to all the qualifiers is they all got a little prize pack this morning. So,
so you're saying it's my own fault?
Yeah, had you played a little bit better and decided not to sit in the commentary chair, you might have got a cloth. So,
okay, well look, that's something
to consider for next year, perhaps.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. But a great opening bowl there from Adam Haywood. He's not been too deterred by that little break. It's an interesting break and play, really, because obviously, generally speaking, in a bowls tournament, you won't have too long of a break between games. The players are pretty keen to jump in, down a quick cup of tea, go to the bathroom and get back out there and play. But when we're running on a broadcast schedule, there is sort of a bit more of a defined break, I suppose you could call it. So the players had to wait around for 3 o'clock to hit the broadcast schedule, which is not something they're particularly used to. So finding that rhythm early, and then obviously this break and play is another little mental hurdle the players have to face. And
So
it'll be
far
interesting
they
to see.
seem to be hurdling all right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to know perhaps, and perhaps we might ask Dennis to bring it up in the post-match interview, just what the players did during that break, whether they tried to go get themselves dry or snuck in a quick cup of coffee or...
Yeah, well, both Dean and I can tell you if it was cricket, they'd have the cards out very quickly.
Yeah. I don't think we quite had enough time for a game of cards.
Cricketers found enough time for a game of cards at a fall of wicket. Especially some of them. Boy, there were some sharks in some of the teams I was involved with.
But I must say, must also shout out to the volunteers there. You saw a lot of Howick members jumping out on the green, helping out the Bowls Auckland team.
What's you going to do here?
Getting the green cleaned up, ready to play.
It's a very good bowl.
Second shot there from Jessie.
And didn't move the jack. So she'd be happy with that as a result. Must have been windy there because the camera's offset.
Oh, I think the cameraman was hiding from the rain as well.
Oh, no, the cameramen are hardy people, they've always told me. The rain, hail or snow, they'll be out there.
Well, it's shaping up to be a pretty good-looking head for Adam and Jessie here.
Yeah, sure is.
And I definitely think, you know, we talked about it a couple of times. Jessie's played this narrower hand very effectively. She's been commentator cursed here, though, unfortunately.
But look, I know it's easy, real easy game to play from here, but I still kept this thing. Why did they go to the wider hand when they were playing the narrower hand so well? Don't change something that's working. But yeah, obviously they'll have their reasons, and there'll be very sound tactical reasons and all the rest of it. This might rearrange the furniture a bit.
Yeah, Trish just opting to play a little bit of weight there. And I guess the benefit that they'll have now is, I mean, you can sort of see in the background, a couple of the flags are still flapping around, but probably not as much as it was 20 minutes, half an hour ago.
You wouldn't think so. Yeah, well, look, there's virtually nothing behind the green and the trees.
And as that surface water sort of settles in, the green is going to become a little bit narrower in its lines. So playing those running shots will become a little bit easier. It's a really good home from Jessie.
Yep, it is.
It's another one of those good luck shots. Get into the head and see what happens.
Looks to be much is going to happen this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, a bit on the wide side again.
But I don't know. I get the feel, because there's such a good soul of grass on the greens at Howick, I just get the feel that they might just get a little bit slick after the sort of rain that they had. What have you got here? You get past. Not quite. Sort of all on for young and old at the moment. There's no telling how it's going to look at the end, but you'd suspect it's not going to look like this. Yeah, that windsock's still blowing around out there.
There's a bit of a conference going on up the other end. Probably the longest conference we've had so far. I don't see there being too much change in strategy, though, from Faria.
If he's called a weighted shot, basically both bowls from Trish in the number 3 spot, you'd be certainly your first one. You'd expect his first one. You'd expect to be coming in with a bit on it, because they didn't get what they were looking for either of the last two.
No, I think trying to draw on the forehand, which I fear he might be trying to do, is a very low percentage shot. You've got to be very precise to score. No, he's playing that sort of niggly in between weight, and he's just pulled it out of the hand. You see the arm swing across the body, which is generally an indication you're going to miss narrow like that.
The third counter now would be interesting.
Yeah, so I think Craig's got the right idea. He's trying to play weight into the head, but he needs to sort of just... It's one of those bowls where you need it to do 2 or 3 things to really You're almost driving to reduce the count at this point, I think.
Yeah, well, the Kildare goes back on the 2, which would still, assuming that the shot bowl disappears, it's still leaving 1 down.
Yeah. He's going to look for a bit more weight this time.
He doesn't wear the mat out, does he?
No, he's been called up a few times in the past for foot faulting on his drives. He's actually all right on that one. He's
close
definitely
here.
worked on it. Wow, he's going to...
Boy, did he get a break there.
I think he's got the result there.
Yes, he has.
But yeah, the old foot fault's definitely been a conversation, a topic. The social media club love to get on to that one online. And it's something that Craig has sort of worked on, I guess, over the last 2 or 3 years. He doesn't use much of the mat, but he certainly does use enough, which is, under the laws of the game, satisfactory to not have his bowl picked up halfway down, although I've yet to see an umpire pick a bowl up halfway down.
I would say going at the speed that one was, you had no chance. There's Adam starting to think that the bowls gods might have just gone and left him.
I wouldn't be surprised if Adam, he's going to say a player-weighted shot as well.
He's got
it.
Oh, I thought he cleaned it up.
Oh, you've given him an early call, Paul. So another 1 to Trish, Croot and Craig Faria sees them go 10-5 up after 10 ends played in the JBWere Auckland Open final.
I think Craig would have accepted 1 down when he clattered into the head. So to come out of it 1 up, he got a result, didn't he? The 2 games we've done, he's been really effective because he's just so consistent. And if he has one end that's a bit scruffy, you don't expect the second one back to back. I think when he finishes, assuming that they play out, sort of splitting the last 4 ends, he'll be very satisfied with his day's work, I suspect.
And you're almost getting to the territory now where 5 points with 4 ends to go. It's not a lot, but if Craig and Trish can score again,
they win 1 more end, and it's suddenly it's a big gap, isn't it?
It certainly gives them a very comfortable buffer.
And they've dropped 1, 3 and 2 singles, so out of the 10 ends they've won 7.
Yeah, well, you see that little stat just pop up on the scoreboard there. The last 2 ends, they've scored 5 shots, which took it from a 5-all game to suddenly 10-5, and definitely advantage to Trish and Craig as they lead into the final 4 ends of this game. And well led again by Trish.
Yeah, that's, given the fact that the conditions are not perfect, that's not a bad place to put one of the 2. Might be a bit on the skinny side.
So you can tell it's definitely getting towards the end of the game. The walk up the other end starting to take a little bit longer. We highlighted some of the player fatigue in the semi-final. And you see the walks just getting a little bit slower. Players a little bit more deliberate.
I'd imagine Craig and Trish have got little springs in their feet just at the moment, mind. Especially if this one goes somewhere near the jack and it's not far away.
You know, you asked me about this time in the semi-final what it would take for Aidan and Rebecca to step up and win their match, and the call was a well-executed drive shot from Aidan and allowing Rebecca to have that support, which they did, but unfortunately for them, not able to convert into a win. And I think it's the same sort of call here for Adam Haywood and Jessie Macaw. If Adam can turn a head around and give them that little bit of momentum, they can chase those 5 shots down, but they're probably going to want to get a couple of 2s across the next 2 ends.
You'd think so. You wouldn't want to, as you said, you wouldn't want to drop, even if it's 1 on this end and be 11-5 down with 3 to go, because then you're looking for 3 2s back to back.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's to force an extra end. You've probably then got to win 4 in a row to win the game.
Yeah, well, 4 singles isn't going to be enough either, so you do have to get a multiple in there somewhere. This is a great bowl from Adam Haywood. It's just unfortunate for him that it's come across the centre line. It means that Craig can see it on the backhand.
Yeah.
I guess his only saving grace is the fact that he's jack low, which means he's finished in front of the jack, meaning that it just changes the angles ever so slightly for Craig if he's playing into it.
And to be fair, he hasn't played. I thought he was being asked to change hands, which is not something he's done at all.
No, I think he's still
not far away again.
Still just trying to draw.
He's not far away.
Played this very well.
Very good effort. Great place.
He's going to be doing well to slip another one inside that.
I think
he's got 1 4 and 1/2 too, so there's not a whole lot of wriggle room.
Yeah, if Adam can get another one close here, he actually sets up a really good opportunity for Jessie to play that narrower side that she's played quite effectively, and can bring potentially her own bowl into play. It's gone now.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, Craig asking if he thinks it's worthwhile playing weight. Yeah, I think Trish is quite right there. He was so close with his last effort. It kind of does seem like a waste of a bowl to fire one down.
He's only really played a few running shots, not a lot. His drawing has been extremely good in pressure situations. So,
again, knowing Craig as I do, it's a very different style from what I'm used to seeing from him. Although,
just undergreened it a bit.
To be fair, a lot of Craig's successes, and this is a bit of a harsh statement, I suppose, but a lot of his successes has come from triples and fours play.
Yeah.
So watching him play a 2-4-2 format is one I'm less familiar with, and he's played a very composed game. If you watch him skip a triple or a 4, he's a lot more aggressive, he's a lot more punchy, he's a bit more like Adam in that sense, trying to convert shots, create opportunities, score big bowls. So to see him play this relaxed game, it's a very different side of Craig, and one that's obviously been very effective. They did go through undefeated in section play. They were one of the few teams that did.
Both of them did, I think, didn't they? I don't think Adam and Jessie lost section play either. I'm pretty sure they had 5.
Let me have a look.
I think they had 5 fairly
They
comfortable
did, yeah.
too.
So Adam and Jessie were 5 wins plus 44, and Craig and Trish were 5 wins plus 41. So a pretty similar kind of qualifying effort from both teams. The plus 41 and plus 44 there is all their shots scored minus all their shots against.
Yeah. Also suggests that they weren't under pressure all that often.
No. I mean, if you're averaging, what, five games of section play, you're averaging plus 9.
8 or 9, yeah.
8 or 9 per game. So, fairly comfortable wins.
Given that this is a format that doesn't lend itself to blowouts. There's been an awful lot of 12 11s and 13 10s and this sort of thing. There's been
some incredibly close games. I think the only one sort of real standout blowout was, as much as we talk about Barry getting rumbled by a local, Barry Lester and Ashley Jeffcoat put 33-0 on some poor local team. But aside from that, there weren't any real standout dominant victories.
Yeah, 20 points is actually quite a score in this format.
I feel like Adam Blucher and his partner Kerry Heffer might have had a couple of good wins as well.
They certainly had at least 130. What have you got here? What have you got here? What have you got here? You had to hit something or you got it.
That is not an easy gap to find, and she's played that to perfection.
I think she would have accepted a wick off the short bowl and into Craig's to turn him over.
100%. That's a really good result, and
they're holding 3 now. I believe.
And the context of the game right now, that is crucial.
Oh yeah, that's a real nasty kick in the behind, isn't it?
She's not wide enough. She could get her own bowl if she's got the weight.
It's not going hard enough
don't
to
think
knock a
she
hen off its
does.
nest.
Wow.
Are they going to look for 4? That inside bowl of Craig's.
Yeah, that inside bowl of Craig's, yeah. 4.
4,
yeah,
there you
4's
go.
the call.
That's probably game.
Wow, that's crucial, that.
That's a magic bowl from
Yeah,
Trish.
you can see they're having that conversation. They're looking at the number of ends left versus how many points remaining.
I would imagine you have to play it out, don't you, until you can't.
Yeah, you want to have a go, I think. I do sort of suspect, though, given that they've had that little conversation, this might be the end. If Trish and Craig get a score again here in the 12th end, especially if they were to score 1 or 2, or sorry, like 2 or 3 or another multiple, it could be game over. And we've got Dennis ringside again with Dean Bartlett, who's going to have a little bit of a summary now that the bowls is back underway. Over to you, Dennis.
I want to check it.
14-5 after 11 ends, and I'm with CEO of Bowls Auckland, Dean Bartlett. And Dean, look, one of the really important things that we haven't touched on today about putting events like this together are commercial partners and key sponsors, and obviously see some of the JBWere logos and obviously naming sponsor, but there's a lot of effort and a lot of commercial support that goes into an event like this, isn't there?
Yes, most definitely. And I think with all community sport, sponsors and trust funders are so important. And for us, particularly JBWere Awesome Wealth Management, we also have Taylor Bowls sponsoring us, Shade Systems NZ, and also Mole Check. So it's 4 really good partners, which not only support investment into bowls, but they also offer wraparound support services to bowlers or bowling clubs, i.e. Mole Check, obviously through Mole Map, etc., and Taylor Bowls through bowling supplies and goods as well. So for us, the investment's important, but also that they align with us and offer something to our members as well.
Yeah, and I love reading about someone like Shade Systems, a family company, from Dargaville, so it's absolutely lovely. Look, one thing that I've thoroughly enjoyed, Dean, and times when you're particularly working in a group environment, is when you get to come out and play a little bit of bowls. So if I did want to get involved, whether it be in a corporate capacity, work or community, how do you get involved?
Yep, yeah, great question. If you're in Auckland, just jump on our website. We've got a Find a Club tab, so jump on that, put in your address and you'll find it. Also, Bowls New Zealand have the same capacity, so anywhere across the country, jump onto bowlsnewzealand.co.nz, put in your postal code and the closest clubs will pop up. There's over 400 clubs nationwide, so there's definitely one in your suburb or nearby.
I had a quick chat with Bex and Aidan just before, who, they're young folk in their 20s, early 20s. It's really, really great to see the expansion in youth and bowls. I know we've touched on it a few times, but really cool with the rangatahi, isn't it?
Yeah, rangatahi is a huge part of what we do, and it's a 2-part play here. One of it is to continually change the perception of bowls by getting young people in and active, but also it is that it's such an awesome sport for them, which we've seen out today. We've got an Auckland under 26 team, there's a national under 26 team, and then we've got a performance pathway through the Commonwealth Games and hopefully the Olympics Games in a couple of years in Brisbane.
And I also have to commend you on the quick, rapid response of Bowls Auckland to get you back up and running again. I didn't expect that to be that quick, but well done.
Yeah, I think with the commercial partners, I hope the digital team have some good sponsorship assets, because it's pretty hard out here in the wind to have some physical assets.
Okay, thanks very much, Dean. Much appreciated.
Thanks.
Well, just before we went to that interview, we were having a discussion about who was the most effective player in the game, or how were they going to do it. Whoever's going to be the most effective player in this game has to come up with something absolutely out of the box, because with her last bowl on the 9th end, going the opposite direction to what they are now, Trish Croot trailed the jack away for 4. With the last bowl on the 11th end, she took out the shot bowl and picked up another 4. So if you can do better than a 10-shot turnaround and with 2 bowls, go right ahead. That's almost certainly won the game. And, she's played very well all day. But boy, oh boy, that was pulling out the big shots when you most wanted them.
Yeah, Barry highlighted it right at the top of the broadcast. She was critical in that first round against them this morning. She played some really key bowls in the semi-final, and she certainly played the shots when it mattered, whether through skill and a little bit of luck on her side as well. it seems that the bowling gods are definitely in the favour of Trish Croot right now.
Oh, there was a lot of skill in those two 4-point turnarounds.
Of course,
or 5-point
not to discredit them, but there's been some really skilled shots, and there's just been some good bowls and good areas that have allowed for a bit of good fortune as well. So, no, very well played from Trish Croot, and I guess if you look across the day as a whole, it'd be really hard to put anyone past her for MVP.
Yeah, and really the only challenger is in her own team, because Craig has just been putting bowls there, making sure that they're never going to be bleeding. And Molchek, now that's somebody who one like myself has to keep a good eye on, spending time in the sun with the fair skin and the tendency towards the red hair and the freckles, the Irish and Scots in me coming out. And Molchek are people that I definitely keep an eye on. Yeah,
they've been a really great commercial partner with us as well, and they're the kind of organisation that obviously bowls is a summer sport despite today's weather interruptions.
Invented by Scots.
Yeah. So it's really good that they've partnered with us as a sports organisation to get our bowlers out there and looking after their skin, because skin cancer is a pretty serious thing in New Zealand. We have a particularly challenging ozone layer, and it's really good they offer a discount for Bowls Auckland members to get their checks, which is a great service that a lot of bowlers should get behind. And obviously we're seeing some of our other commercial partners flash up on screen there as well. Shade Systems, as Dennis alluded to, a small little family business that started out building school shelters for outdoor tennis courts and different things at schools, and now have progressed into bowling greens. And you will have seen throughout the day in the background the almost completed indoor complex here at Howick. It was supposed to be completed just before Christmas, but we had a little bit of rain leading up to the Christmas period, which prevented them putting the cover over. They've done that just before Christmas, and now they need to come back in the next week or two to finish off all the beautiful bits, I suppose you could call them.
Yeah.
And then we expect to be playing under that within the next couple of weeks. They do a really good job, Adam and his team at Shade Systems. So we really enjoy that partnership as well. We're now up to 5 covered greens in Auckland, which is very unique. If you include Orewa and Pukekohe in the neighbouring suburbs, we've got 7 covered facilities, all within kind of an hour and a half of each other, which is really key to our sport and it becoming a year-round game.
Yeah. Oh no, the whole environment of bowls in Auckland is, it's one of those things people talk about a lot. Oh, this isn't happening and that's not happening, but there's an awful lot of players out there who think it is happening.
Oh, yeah, and look, it's one of those things. We have over 5,000 full members, right? And you're never going to please every single one of those 5,000.
No, of course
so,
not.
A lot of work gets done at Bowls Auckland to grow and promote the game. We've got over 40,000 people a year coming through our bowling club doors for social functions and corporate groups. That's just in Auckland alone.
Yeah.
So it's really terrific when we can see the clubs engaging with the community. And events like this, this format's been really well received. There are a couple of people that, perhaps have their thoughts on how it could be done differently, but, of the 200 plus competitors, there are very few people that don't enjoy the fact that they can go out there, they're guaranteed 2 games of bowls, and, realistically, there's a 50% chance of making it to a post-section match. So, it's a really rewarding format as well, where you can get out there and maximise your play. Bit of vocalisation from Adam Haywood as he trails the kitty through. I don't think he's going to be too impressed with where that stopped.
I think he's probably got 1 shot.
Wow, he could be 2 down. That's Trish's bowl to the left there. Craig's up behind at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I just thought that his trail bowl might have been.
Yeah, I think
might be the shot.
His trail bowl will beat the one on the right, I'm pretty sure.
You assume so. Yeah, so while we were having the wee conversation, they were going through pretty much the last rights, I suspect. Trish and Craig are just playing too well to drop 11 shots and a couple of ends.
Yeah, I mean, if this is 2, I think it is shake hands.
Don't even know what we got.
Don't even know what happened. It could actually be one to Adam there, as you suggested.
I suspect it is, yep.
No, 15-5.
No, 15-5, so there's a... yeah, well, there goes Trish and picks up the mat. So
Yeah, well, 10 shots, 3 ends to play.
2 ends. That was the 12th gone.
Oh, yes, it's 14 ends, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. So they're going to have to get on their giddy-ups fairly quickly if they want to win this one.
Yeah, I think 2 5s is a very big ask. We've not seen a 5 today, or at least not on television. But I really
but
don't...
also I just can't see it.
No.
Because the one thing you know with Craig is that getting a 3 out of him is like drawing blood. Because he just puts bowls there. He just makes sure that you're not going to get big counts on him. Their defensive bowling has been extremely good.
Yeah.
As good as their attacking play has been, their defensive play has been top draw. Behind the jack, on the jack, like that. Get 5 inside that, good luck.
Yeah. I think one of the best 5s I've ever seen scored was a couple of years ago down in Taranaki, and it was the young team of Hamish Cuppy and Caelan Hooley, Alan Zitterstein and Darryl Reid. They were playing Peter Ballas and his band of legends, and they strategically decided in the last end, needing to score 5 shots, they were going to play rubbish bowls. And by that I mean they did something similar to what Jessie's just done there, and they put all 6 of their lead 2 and 3 bowls probably a good metre behind the jack. And Peter Ballas completely unsuspecting as Hamish stepped up and trailed the jack back a yard for 6, and Peter come through and took 1 out, and the boys picked up a 5 and qualified for the final. And it was one of the greatest displays of tactical brilliance I think I've ever seen. But yeah, as you say, in a 2-4-2 format, very, very difficult because you've only got 2 players to outsmart, and it's a lot easier to outsmart 4 than 2.
Look, I just think Craig is as good a defensive bowler as you find out there. You're never going to pick his pocket because he covers the back, he covers the front, he puts one on the jack and the next one not far away. He won't miss the fact that these 2 are sitting on the tee.
On the 2 metre mark, yeah. I was just about to say, Jessie's accidentally put 2 very good bowls on the 2.
And having a wee giggle about it as if it's something that was an accident.
It was planned. Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you've got a bare jack like that, you put a lot of trust in Adam to execute killing a bare jack, which, even for someone who's a pretty good attacker like Adam, it's still a very difficult shot to execute.
Oh, it's just.
Yeah, Craig's gone straight. Oh, no, he hasn't. I thought he might have tried to cover the 2 there.
Well, he's got first, second and third shots, and they're at disparate points of the compass. You almost put a Mercedes-Benz logo in the middle of it to touch the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Craig, you're not wanting to put one right next to the jack. The last thing you want to do is make a really easy target. And Adam here, I'd be very surprised if he plays any one of his 4 bowls short of the jack.
No, well, there's another one past the back one of... Yep.
Yeah, as I say, very hard to outsmart 2 people.
Especially 2 smart people.
Especially 2 smart ones, yep.
Okay, here it comes, and it's not going to be far away from sitting right on the tee.
He's executed this really well. He hasn't quite got up to the length, actually. I mean, there's still a very big opportunity there. It's a very difficult shot to execute.
Here he goes. That's a clean miss.
Well, that's 1 bullet gone. So they've effectively got 7 bowls in play now, and that number will become critical if they're continuing this approach.
Well, they've thrown their lot, and that's you can't change your mind halfway through.
And this is where I think the respot rule gets a lot of flack, because the losing team will argue that if they had the opportunity to kill it time and time again, they would have a chance. But actually, to be honest, it doesn't necessarily mean that at all, because the tactical play throughout the game has changed. Whoa,
That's his own bowl that he's pushed back too.
He has pushed it up closer. It's still a kill, as you see. The jack's outside the confines of the boundary. He's got himself a toucher in the ditch. He almost went with it clean, actually, which would have almost been a worse result. So holding 3.
Yep.
You got the opportunity now to draw 2 shots or potentially move the jack further to become closer to the toucher, which remains alive in the ditch.
Craig and Trish want 1 bowl in there.
Yeah, and it's not going to take much either, to be fair. Like, even drawing 3rd shot is a really good result for Craig and Chris right now.
Yep. This one's threatening. It gets through the hole. It's pretty good.
Well, if he gets past his own, well, that could be 3rd shot.
It's making it harder to get another couple in there, isn't it?
And the beauty of where that's landed is in order to play that bowl out, you actually risk taking out some of your own bowls if you're Adam. So you do need to go back onto that draw and try to trail the jack further backwards.
Depends what he...
If he gets the right... No, he hasn't got the speed.
No.
So that's the 4 bowls.
Nothing has changed, has it? As
gents.
close as you can to the tee and just keep putting them in there. However, is the best way to get it there is what you need to think about.
You know, we've talked a couple of times about the fact that Jessie's probably played the better bowls on that clubhouse side of the green. Look at that nice clear blue sky out there now.
And total lack of movement in the trees behind.
Yeah, very little breeze. It's just another day in Auckland. You'd never know. So, very similar game plan, I think, from Trish, trying to play the wider hand.
Yeah.
Just getting some good positional bowls in.
It's all on the way.
It'd be interesting if they score 3 here, whether they have a go to try and chase the last the last few points.
That's not a bad one either, is it?
Yeah, that's a really good bowl. I feel like 4 really is the minimum here. They might try to have a crack at 6 to get a draw, but if they're only scoring 3, it's too big of an ask, I think, to score 7.
Well, yeah, that's 7 for an extra end.
Yeah,
You've got to do
exactly.
it again.
Yeah. And she's not got the speed here.
No, well, that's not in the game, is it? Well, she's going to have a dig at it.
Well, it's not a bad option. There's really no risk involved in that shot because worst case, Trish puts the jack in the ditch and goes 1 down to Adam's bowl, and 1 down is a really good result.
Well, she may be holding one by the time.
Yeah, that too. So if she gets a bit of turn here, she's played this really well.
Not far away. Oh,
well, it takes 4 off the table, doesn't it? We could have a...
When you're playing as well as that, you're making your own luck. There's no luck involved in all this sort of carry on.
Yeah, I think there'll be a 90-second or so conference here, but it's pretty easy to see.
If they only get 1 because they're holding 1, but if that's all they get, it's game over.
Yeah, it's much easier to see from the commentary booth that I think we're pretty much done here.
Very hard to score a 9 in this game. That's the point.
Yeah, almost impossible with only 8 bowls in play.
Indeed.
So right now Adam's trying to look at every single possible option, as you do when you're trying to chase quite a hefty prize pool here. Whatever they do end up deciding is probably going to be a little bit of a Hail Mary.
Yep.
Or a good luck as it's been coined today.
It's hard, but the only shot you got is to get through that hole, to get the jack over to here.
Wow, yeah, and that's probably not a bad call because you'd have 3 or 4 out there quite comfortably.
Yep.
On a run up, get the jack and
Yeah.
with that bowls as well, but you won't get enough.
It's interesting because he's saying there if he played weight underneath her own bowl, which is very, very difficult. I would say her best option is probably the first one.
Yeah.
She needs to play a little bit more weight than you would think and actually use Craig's bowl to wick off it and trail the kitty on the follow through.
I get the impression I heard some giggling going on down the far end.
I mean, if she gets the jack and chips it out to the right, she's definitely going to improve the score.
It's going to hit something
This is
on the
actually
way through.
very close. Oh,
That's the end of that.
Needed to miss her own. Well, that brings to a conclusion the 2025 JBWere Auckland Open, and very shortly we'll see the final confirmation score. But I can confirm to you that Craig Faria and Trish Croot are our champions with the final score 16-5. 15-6, sorry. That's my dyslexia kicking in.
Yeah.
And it's been a really eventful day, and as we've discussed, I think Trish Croot definitely will take away the MVP award for finals day. The players are going to gather their things, chase them through the car park from all the wind, and we'll shortly have them ringside with Dennis. But in the meantime, Paul, perhaps you could provide some of your thoughts on the summary of the game.
Well, it was a game which Trish and Craig got onto early, but for me, really, it was the story of two bowls. And one was Trish's last bowl on the 9th end, where she trailed the jack through and then sat, and Jessie had a right of reply, which came up short. So that was 4 shots to Trish and Craig when there'd been 1 down. And then the 11th end, Trish's last bowl, removed the shot bowl, and so they went from 1 down to 4 up again. So that 10-shot swing over 2 ends in a game where they were giving up nothing, and I give a lot of credit to Craig as well, because his defensive bowling was good. They were never in any danger of getting taken for 3s and 4s unless there was some movement of the jack and anything like that. It was really quite a command performance, I thought. And from the 6th end through to the 13th, Adam and Jessie were just shut out of the game. Trish and Craig in that time picked up 12 points, and in a game of this quality, that's a massive amount. So there's no question that the right team won this, and Dennis is just about to talk to them, so let's go and find out what they think.
Yes, I'm with Trish Croot and Greg Faria. Congratulations. Look, I've got your name right this time, so I'm very happy about that, or at least I hope so. Oh, Craig, sorry. Oh, my goodness, pardon me. Well done, Craig. Hey, look, a fantastic outcome. You guys have had a sensational day. You played 2 teams that I think most people would be expecting to be in the final or finalists. Absolutely blew them out of the green and did the same today. So what's the secret to success?
Just resilience, I think, especially in that weather that we've just played in. Yeah, consistency and resilience. Yeah.
Craig, I noticed there's a lot of talking from you, particularly, you're out there saying, look, try this, try that. Is that just your natural style, or?
Oh yeah, I think it's important to give the information on the head. You know, it's kind of hard. You get the head moves around, the kitty moves, the bowl moves, and it's just looking at options. And I think that Trish played the shots, but I think I did call a couple of them. So
fair to say.
Fair to say. Fair to say. You know, and a few that I maybe didn't want to.
Got you.
No, we just committed to our game plan and tried to play one side of the green and accept whatever happened in that situation, and it paid off for us, and we were happy with whatever the outcome. So yeah.
We talked about the conditions before. I know you guys have played the whole weekend. What's it like when the rain pours down, there's puddles everywhere, and then you've got to stop and then all of a sudden reset again?
I mean, it's definitely a mental game at that stage to reset, because you're not just resetting your head and yourself, but also the green conditions will have changed in that time with the rain coming down, and so that first end or so after the rain was a bit slower than before, and then it sped up again. So, you've got to be on to green changes all the time.
Craig, similar for you?
Oh yes, no, Trish is right. it's a bit disappointing when you're holding a good head and it rains and you come back and when you change over you're 2 down instead of 2 up. But apart from that, that's just how it goes.
So is that normal etiquette basically that it gets killed and you start again?
Yeah.
Because I thought you just carry on, but it's,
The laws of the sport.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all good. So you just reset and keep doing what you're doing. You know, just go again.
What's next on the cards for you two both, whether it's as mixed pairs or individuals? Is a busy summer?
A busy summer. Perhaps not so much for me. I've got a rep team or 2 to look after for Auckland. I'm heading down to Raumati to play interclub for Raumati Beach.
Yep.
Good
spot there.
Great spot. Go the home of the Blues. And then on to Māori Bowls, and then to the Nationals for 4s and mixed pairs again with Craig.
Well, so obviously, killer combination. And Craig, what about yourself? What's on the cards for you?
Oh yeah, I've got a week or so off, so I'm off to the Nationals in Christchurch, and looking forward to teaming up with Trish again in the mixed pairs, which is February in Tauranga. So yeah.
And Trish, I hope you don't mind me eavesdropping, but I did hear you say there's been a new addition to your family and some great personal news. So I'm going to ask you if you can share that with us, and if you want to give any of these family members perhaps a shout out.
Sure. Obviously, my son Mitchell and his girlfriend Claudia have just had a little girl called Amelia. She's beautiful.
First granddaughter for you?
First granddaughter for me,
Look at that.
Nanny T.
So you already got your name sorted. I love it. Sorry, was that Nanny T?
Nanny T.
Love it, Nanny T.
Yeah, she's now 8 months old, and absolutely beautiful.
And Craig, anybody that you'd like to thank or anything? Well, look, you guys are our champions, so the mic is yours, so to speak.
I'd like to thank my wife Naomi for her managing us this weekend, and say good day to my boys Thomas and Brett, and Amy and Ashley back in New Plymouth, and hello to the West End Club in New Plymouth.
I've also got to ask, how you must spend quite a bit of time away from the family over the summer with so many tournaments on. Is that fair to say? I might be off the mark there, I'm not sure.
Well, my family typically in Auckland's a dog, so he goes off to doggy daycare. But
Is this the whippet?
This is the whippet. Yes, a little bit of time out of the city. It's a lot when you're working full time and trying to travel and play bowls.
Yeah, no, well, I brought my best fan with me, so that was good. And I just forgot to say hi to my grandson Mark, who will be watching the final. So, g'day, Mark.
And what's if we've got Nanny T, what are you called then, Craig?
I'm just Popper.
Popper? All right. Well, look, I think they're setting up the presentation for you, so I'll let you guys get ready, thinking about your world ranking points, thinking about your prize money. Congratulations, well done, and thank you very much. And what a tremendous day you guys have had, not to mention the other 2 leading up to it, but fantastic through the quarterfinals. No, it's great.
The sponsors, obviously, and JBWere, and also to the Howick Bowling Club, because they're an amazing club to put this on and run it, and Bowls Auckland to run this tournament. It's a massive tournament, so it's been good.
And we got to mention all the teams that turned up and played in trying conditions on occasions, and it was good camaraderie, and we enjoyed all the games, and best wishes to everyone for the new year.
Thank you very much. Very, very well said. Yes, it was. There was 114 teams, 228 participants. It all boiled down to the final just earlier. So got some beautiful hugs happening just out of shot, but a very, very happy team and very worthy of winning their share of $10,000 of prize money. As we mentioned, it is across 4 flights, which means 4 divisions here. So that money, I believe, is spread evenly amongst the divisions. We are getting set for the trophy presentation. You can see over my shoulder as they're getting set, but a fantastic victory for Craig Faria and Trish Croot this afternoon to take out the JBWere Open.
Yeah, thanks Dennis, and we have a few highlights from the final match here to go over. Early on when the weather was nice, we saw that beautiful shot from Jessie there, getting a really good result, picking up a 3.
But remember too that Craig then chipped 2 of those shots out of there, so it wasn't a 3.
Yeah, no, correct, Paul.
There were 208 bowls played in this game, and there are 2 of them that really matter, and we haven't got to them yet.
No, there were some really good draw shots played from all 4 players, really. And that was one of Adams on the 7th end. And this is the first of Trish's drives. that probably wasn't quite on target, but certainly got the right result. And that was definitely a turnaround point in the match. And we see Mother Nature also made an appearance. Close contender for MVP. The 11th end, another one of Trish's.
This is the one that won the game.
Big conversions. This was played to perfection.
Nailed that, and it was second end in a row coming this way. She picked up a 4, and this is the miracle bowl. Didn't happen.
Yeah, you could see Craig's excitement there when Trish run through and found that gap. But he knew that was going to be pretty well close on the game. We are going back ringside very shortly to Dennis, and I believe the CEO, Dean Bartlett, to do the presentations. I'm sure Dean will also provide many thanks, but as the tournament director for this event, I must thank all our host clubs who stuck with us over the last couple of days as we get a glimpse of the championship summary here on the screen. Trish, Croot and Faria defeating Rebecca Jelfs and Aidan Takarua in the semi-final. Adam Haywood and Jessie Macaw taking out Kay Bunn and Sean Harrison. And then, of course, the final, as we've seen, Croot and Faria, our winners for the 2025 JBWere Auckland Open. It's been an interesting 3 days. We've had it all here. Beautiful conditions at Howick, followed by some pretty miserable ones, and then a real mixed bag here for finals day. To sort of reiterate some of the words from Craig, it's always a lot that goes into running a tournament like this, so we do thank our host clubs, we do thank all of our volunteers, all of our commercial partners. There's so many moving parts, all of our officials as well. Of course, Paul as a player, and then steps in and jumps in the commentary booth as well.
That's the easier part than playing against this mob, I tell you.
Yeah, plenty of moving parts, and you know, everyone does their piece, and it all adds together to deliver what's been a really cool event. So we're not too far away from the presentation as we look at a few more highlights from the match. That was Adam's little faux pas that no one noticed. We've had some really good camera angles from that balcony, looking down over the head. It's given us a really interesting perspective of the match that you don't often see in bowls broadcasts. This one's a little bit earlier on in the semi-final. Aidan Takarua drawing an exceptional shot.
It was the bowl that put the semi to bed, wasn't it?
Yeah, great bowls from Trish in the last end to secure their spot in the final.
I'd imagine she's going to sleep pretty well tonight because, boy, she's played some good bowls.
Yeah, for sure. And that's certainly been the other starring role as the windsock. Caused plenty of fun on the green today. One of Craig's many well-executed drawn bowls. It's certainly been a day of excitement. There's been plenty going on, and that was our one umpire call for the day, or one of 2 umpire calls for the day, measuring the jack. And the fans there enjoying the beanbags before the rain took them out. So I believe we're just seconds away from the presentations as players are getting ready. Just a few more highlights to go.
It was a good day, good 3 days, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, look, it's you know, despite the weather, the players really can't complain too much. They've been faced with a few challenging conditions, but you know, ultimately, I think what players really want is to get out there and play bowls. So to be able to do that and to complete all the scheduled games, you know, it's been really something quite special as we pass down to Dennis now on the green for the presentations for the JBWere Auckland Open 2025.
Well, apparently I was going to say we've got shy players who are hiding in the club rooms, but we'll drag them out there at some stage.
I imagine they've probably taken their prize money and got in line at the bar.
I would imagine that they might get preferential treatment at the bar, truth be told.
You'd like to hope.
Yeah. No. Dean's there, so if Dean's there, they haven't got their prize money yet.
No. No.
Okay, well, I'm seeing in the background Colin Eris-Webster is cleaning up the stuff that the wind messed up for them.
You know, it's great to see the Howick volunteers. They're always really quick to step up and help out.
Yeah. No, it's a good club and a real easy choice for a host club, I'd imagine, because they have the facilities, they've got the people, they've got the greenkeeper. There's nothing really goes wrong there very much.
Yeah, I mentioned a little earlier in the day, they're one of the only clubs in the country to have 5 greens, 3 of the best natural services going around, and they really do say yes to just about anything. So, you know, it's really great when we can ring them up, but sometimes at very short notice and be, hey, look, we've got an event, we need some facilities, and, you know, they're all too willing to accommodate.
So we're just waiting for everybody to get organised on site, which we have no control over. But if they're not organised in a hurry, that plinth with the trophy on it's going over. If the wind kicks in just a little bit louder, well, here's Helen Blick. So we're starting to move into the presentation part.
All right, so it looks like we are almost ready. And I think we might be crossing over any second now. Down to Dennis.
Well, you'd think Helen Blick, as president of Auckland Bowls, will have a part to play in all this.
Yeah, no, Helen's a really good as centre president. Actually, she's right in amongst it. She's very talkative. She gets in and really promotes the game well amongst the community. And I guess we take this one last opportunity to thank all of our commercial partners: Active, Shade Systems, JBWere, Taylor Bowls, Mulcheck, and our 2 gaming trust partners, NZCT and Bobby Foundation.
Yeah, well, it's a good group of people to have on side.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I believe they are now all organised and ready to go for the presentations, so we'll cross over live to Dennis now.
JBWere Auckland Open, the inaugural event in the World Bowls Series, and what an event it was. As we touched on, 114 teams, 228 participants, all boiling down to the final today. 4 finals, in fact, across the 4 divisions, and incredible. And congratulations to, I think, not just only Bowls Auckland, but all our participants, all our clubs that have gone into assisting, our volunteers, our commercial sponsors, our broadcast partners and WSL. Just a massive thank you. And I'd like to invite our CEO, Dean Bartlett, to say a few words.
Cool, thank you. Just an acknowledgement and a welcome to the Bowls Auckland officials, board members and life members. Thank you very much for your support throughout the tournament. As Dennis alluded to, the clubs played a huge role in the last 3 days. All 8 clubs, especially at late notice yesterday, moving to carpet, very much appreciated from those 8 venues, and especially thankful to Brian Jago, president here at Howick Bowling Club, Paul Hickey, greenkeeper, and the army of volunteers. Thank you very much. I think probably deserves a clap for those guys. Our key partners, and namely the event sponsor, JBWere Wealth Management, thank you to them. This is the 4th year in a row supporting this tournament, or the old iteration of it, so very much appreciated. Taylor Bowls and Nilesh Patel, who is at Howick for a lot of the week, thank you for the team at Taylor Bowls New Zealand, and also Mulcheck and Shade Systems NZ as well. A huge thank you to the umpires and the officials. I think a lot of the players would have seen. Thank you very much to the North Harbour's Umpire Association, because I think half of our umpires throughout the week came from North Harbour, which is very appreciative to our brothers and sisters over there. So thank you for helping us out there. WSL and the team at Sky Sport for broadcasting, thank you very much. Very difficult conditions today, so them getting through that, it's awesome, and I look forward to watching this broadcast over and over again. I think it's important for us to acknowledge this tournament was played for many with a heavy heart, and to acknowledge the passing of Bowls legend Mike Bradshaw as well. So just acknowledge that and everyone, and for his passing. I think it was really awesome to see the bowling community come together, whānau and friends, to acknowledge that. So And most importantly are the players. Obviously really trying conditions, especially yesterday. So thank you to the players for firstly entering. As Dennis said, 114 entries, which is the most we've had for this tournament. So we're very stoked to have a lot from across the Motu and also across the ditch in Australia. So we want to see more and more of that in future editions. So thank you, and thank you for sticking it out. In terms of thank you to World Bowls for, I suppose, taking a punt on us and allowing us to be part of their World Bowls series. For us, it's important to not only showcase the bowlers and bowls to our community, but also trying to get more people engaging with bowls, which was so important to get this broadcast on Sky and reach a new audience that we do outside of YouTube and the like. So that's awesome. And just lastly, just a big thank you from us and then our staff as well. So it's been a pretty tough 3 days, so thank you very much to the delivery staff, the late night WhatsApps, the panicking, the looking at refreshing forecasts every 5 minutes, and hopefully we got through that, and we're very, just stoked to complete it. Thank you. Back to you, Dennis.
Thank you very much, Dean. I'd now like to invite World Bowls Ambassador Barry Lester to say a few words.
Thanks, Dennis. Obviously, I'm from Australia, but the Auckland Open will become even bigger and better. It will have people come from Asia, England, Ireland, Scotland, hopefully over the next few years as it becomes a World Bowl Series ranking event. It's a great part of the world. We've had massive events here over the years when we talk about World Championships, etc. The greens are fantastic. The hospitality is first class, and we really want to see this Auckland Open become bigger and better and see players from all around the world come here. So I might be the start of that, and I'm proud to be that, and I'm proud to really push what World Bowls is doing, and let's hope that people all around the world start travelling over to Auckland and start participating in this event, because it really is a fantastic event. So well done to all the competitors, well done to all the host clubs and all the organisers. Let's go. Auckland Bowls, you are fantastic.
Thank you very much, Barry, and also a big thank you from me on a personal note. Barry was quite happy to step in when I needed a little bit of expertise in terms of bowls and an understanding of what was happening around the traps. I'd like to invite Helen Blick, who is the Bowls Auckland president, to come up and present the trophies. But before we do that, Helen, if we could very, very quickly, if you could please draw our raffle ticket out. And of course, thank you very much to Taylor Bowls. They have provided us with a set of bowls to raffle off, with all proceeds going to the Bowls Auckland Foundation. So we will be in touch with you. Thank you. Thank you, Helen. We will be in touch with our winners. That is Val Arndt. So well done, Val. We will get in touch with you. I'll make sure that I give that to you. So well done, Val. Without further ado, if I could ask our runners-up in the 4th division of Wendy Sargent and Keith Stewart to please come up. And I think you might want to pose for a photo as well if you're, And well done, congratulations. And our winners, 14-10 in that final. If I could invite Matt Berry and Leah Morgan, please. Well done. Congratulations, well done. Just while they're taking their photos there, 3rd division. Our runners-up in that one was Martin Dixon and Claire Tafaru. Congratulations. Oh, and got a few fans in the crowd as well. Love it. Well done. And our winners in the 3rd division unfortunately couldn't be here. That was Gary and Rosanna Muruwai. They've jumped in their car, driving down to Wellington. In our 2nd division, our runners-up, Agnes and David Motu, our runners-up in the 2nd division. Auntie and nephew combination. Our 2nd division champions, just while that photo's happening, please get your hands ready for Janine Brown and Billy Fulton, our winners 18-8. in that second division game. And in our championship match, as we saw, could I please invite our runners up in that one, Adam Haywood and Jessie Macaw, please. And ladies and gentlemen, please get ready. Our champions for 2025 of the inaugural JBWere Open, our World Bowls Series Championship event. Could you please put your hands together for Trish, Croot and Craig de Faria. Yes, a massive congratulations to Trish and Craig, who, as we touched on, Trish, brand new nana. Craig, of course, is taking a little bit of downtime, then off to the Nationals, and a lot more bowls to come for them. On behalf of everybody here at the JBWere Open and all the Bowls family, both here and globally, we wish you a very, very safe holidays, a very happy new year, and hopefully you have a successful summer wherever you are bowling, and we'll catch you next year at the JBWere Open.
I have a report.